Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and my non-binary folk out there. My name is Carlos Rodriguez, your doctor recommended dose of nerdiness, aka your nerd of the day, and we are here with a special return of the Nerd of the Day podcast and a podcast within a podcast, the meaning of. And today we are doing the meaning of PlayStation. But before we get to that, and the lovely people that you see on your screen if you are watching on youtube.com/nerd of the day, cheap pop. We are gonna give a quick shout out to our, because this is posting September 2nd ish, September Patreons. That's right. I want to give out to shout out to all the people who helped make the show happen. We have Hopefully Awesome, Matt and Maggie. You guys are awesome. Love you guys so much. Jeff Felsher, brother from another mother. Susan, my sister from another mister. Rest Pass, my partner in crime over at Apron Work Podcast. So if you love wrestling, give us a shout. We're the best Philadelphia-based podcast for wrestling. Do not look those stats up. Just assume they're correct. And Brandon. And now, finally, I've been dying to do this with you guys. When I came up with the meaning of, I had so many different topics. I'm like, definitely have to do what we're doing today, the meaning of PlayStation with you three fine folks. So we're going to go around real quick. First, one half of the trophy room, Mr. Badbit himself, Joe Moran.
I came first. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. This is all I've ever wanted. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Pleasure to be here. Excited to talk about what PlayStation means to me, what the meaning of, all that good stuff, and with some of my favorite people, you know? So I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to you.
I'm so excited to be doing content with you guys, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then next, his other half, the best hugger in video games, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. Kyle, how are you?
It's me. I'm doing excellent. I'm excited to be here. Did you hear how excited Joe was when he said that he came first?
Yeah.
Is that something to be proud of?
Yeah, cut that, right?
Yeah.
Cut that.
No. Leave it in. Leave it in. That's what Luke's mom said. Listen here. Someone right now is just a little salty that they're losing in our fantasy league, and that, you know, we have a little cowboy hat just for his little head that he's gonna be wearing, you know, by the end of the year.
No, you're going to be the one that's going to have to put insane clown posse makeup on your face.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Well,
we made just because you have Sea of Stars, it's great.
Sea of Stars.
I have Spider-Man, so like.
Okay. All right. Well, he has Forza too, and I'm still unperturbed. You know,
Ooh, Forza's a good pick.
It is a good pick.
Solid pick.
Wait, who picked Starfield?
I did.
Kyle did.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
Pretty good Metacritic score so far. Yeah. Pretty settled. Pretty high.
No, apparently a fucking 7 out of 10 from my job is the end of the world. Apparently he's the worst score you could ever get.
Finally, the person, do not send him DMs about 7 out of 10s from IGN.
Please
He
don't.
did not score it. He did not review it. Let's just say that.
No.
He's just making content for them around it. The Prince of Hype himself from PlayStation Source, Kevin Diaz. Kevin, how are you?
Greetings. How are you? Thank you for having me. This is the first recording I've been on in like 5 months. So shout out to you for still thinking about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know the algorithm probably forgot about PlayStation Source a while ago. You know what I'm saying? But we'll be back.
You still got like 6,000 subscribers. It's fine.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Brag.
Shout out.
Yeah.
I guess I got to also plug, you know, IGN. Work there as well. You know,
Absolutely.
That's cool. Associate content.
The evil corporation.
Yep.
That rated the game I didn't play yet.
How could you?
7 out of 10.
Yep.
Where is your
The worst,
sir?
The worst.
It was marketed
the worst.
like it would change my life.
I was promised by Todd Howard himself.
That's right. Todd Howard doesn't just come out on stage with a leather jacket and his hair firmly pressed.
I heard his name is Tom Howard, and he told me all these things. They promised the world.
Listen,
That's right.
He
came out in his jean jacket.
It's been crazy, right? As y'all know, y'all have seen, right? It's been crazy.
Oh yeah.
But when we started seeing people record themselves walking across game worlds this weekend and putting timers on, bruh,
Ooh.
I was like, yo, this is a level. I was like, come on, guys, what are we doing?
Oh,
what are we doing?
That was so scary.
What are we doing?
When those little things started
was...
leaking out, it's like, ooh.
I was like, oh man.
Because
what, the one for Starfield,
people put all this energy and anger into things that would actually change the world.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, y'all spent time to walk across a game world and then not only do that, but edit it, put a timer on it, upload, like, bro.
Complain about it. Most importantly.
Just for some validation on a social platform that's dying.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Wild.
Exactly. I would love to think though. I have I seen the score, but I have the review saved like in my. I actually use my watch later queue for YouTube.
Nice.
And I have it saved, and I was like, oh man, it'd be funny if like you like go to watch it, and then that IGN Pringles ad plays. It's like a 7 out of 10. I was like, oh my god, can you imagine? Like, and then you watch Starfield review, it's like it's a 7 out of 10. Like, wait, what?
That's funny.
Because it always plays for me like on IGN video. So like, there's a good chance.
That's funny.
It's a really good chance.
That's the one that has the rip on the AMC.
Yes. Yeah.
That was funny.
I love that commercial.
That's a good one. That's funny. Shout out to IGN. Absolutely. No, just kidding. We're horrible.
No, you stop. Let's talk about like the PlayStation stuff. I hate when people call like outlets like PlayStation bias.
Oh my god!
Like it always aggravates me to like such a great extent, because at the end of the day, all these outlets, for the most part, play coy. They don't want to upset anyone, because that means that that. For example, they don't want to upset Xbox, because that means Xbox could take their codes away from them, right?
Yeah.
Or they maybe, what probably even matters more to them is like they won't have the exclusive, first look on a game that they might be doing that's going to drive traffic to the site. So like all these sites are kind of trying to do this like, kind of like high wire act to not upset anyone to the point where it could impact them. So like when IGN puts out a review, you'll see like people like, oh, IGN never gives things below an 80. No, they do it like a ton, especially GameSpot as well. Like they explore that scale. They just highlight to like PlayStation and Xbox. Most of those games are quality. That's why you don't see those games dip below a 7. But like they explore that scale. Are there people that prefer a console over the other? Sure.
Yeah, of course.
But like, I know one guy that was reviewing Starfield who was gonna give it a lower score, and he's a primary Xbox player. So like, to me, I take a look at it, like they don't care about your box as much as you think they do. And that's why I always hate like review days, because look, no matter if you rate the game high or low, you're gonna get yelled at, right? If you're the outlier too high, you're a fanboy. If you're an outlier too low, you're a fanboy. Like there's just no in between. The conversations are just like overly negative.
Yeah, and it's also scary as the reviewer, because like even like I don't have a monochrome of like a kind of funny or GameSpot or anything, or MinMax or anything like that, but recently I posted today as we're recording my review for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, just posted on Point in Progress, and as I was doing it, I was like, man, I'm really down on this game. And then like we played last night kind of to like hype up the fact that the review was coming up, and I was like, wow, I'm having a lot of fun. But I was like, did I review it like poorly? Because I didn't give it a score. They don't score over there, so I didn't give it a score. But I was like, yeah, this one needs like a little more time to cook, and like if you have Game Pass, like check it out and then see how you feel about it. But I was like, there's this wrong. I'm like, but this is cool. And I was like, am I coming off too negative? And there's that worry that like, is someone gonna be pissed off with that? Like, there's a weird push and pull with that, because it's so popular on Twitch. Like, it's weird. It
drives me crazy, because a 7 is a good score.
Yeah,
not bad.
Swimming in 7.
Like I would love to maybe go back in time and figure out when that turned into such a hot topic as a score number. Like what is the one game that got a 7 that kind of tipped it and ruined that good score, because like I just don't understand where it comes from. Do they want every game to be a masterpiece? If so, where do we go?
I think
how do games learn? They'll just be the same thing over and over and over again. That's boring.
Yeah, like I think that's a part of it. Like if it's not that like 90 plus like Sony bar legendary. If it's literally an 89, no, like it's not, but it's not a 90. It didn't hit a 90. And it's just kind of, it's just,
Yeah,
it's
especially
a
with
lot. And
PlayStation,
like,
it's scary because like they have like such a I mean we'll agree and we'll talk about it more while we do the episode, but they have such a pedigree with their single player titles that like
absolutely. Yeah.
it
They all
there's
land
a
on 89.
yeah like it's 89. It's like, oh my god, it's unplayable. I've never played Days Gone. It was like a lot of people play Days Gone. That's me.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah. It's just super interesting, like, you know, going through the years and making content about PlayStation over the course of the past 2 years, not in the past 5 months, 6 months, but then seeing it a little bit from the other side, right? Of actually being in the industry, you know? And it's like, yeah, like a lot of y'all just got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not, yeah. And something that I want to hit on a little bit where you know, Joe was saying, and it was like, ultimately, like, I just wish a lot of people like took a step back and was like, IGN and GameSpot and these big outlets, right? Like, they are companies. Like, they are designed, you know, to report on the news, give our critiques on games and such and all that, for money, right? Like, it's a company, just like every other company. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't understand like why you think that it's reasonable or somehow happening where IGN, GameSpot, whoever other big publication would side with one of them, and how that would be good for business. Like, how does that make, you know? I'm like, it's really not that hard to like boil down and like, no, like that's not happening. You know, it's just not like
no one would go there anymore if they
like no, yeah, and there's plenty of outlets out there that specialize. There's Nintendo Life, Push Square. I love Push Square a lot. You know what I'm saying? And like that's their bag, and like that's their bag. You know what I'm saying? Like you have that specialization if you want it out there. You know, but for the big brands, like no, like that just wouldn't be good for business. Like it's very simple.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you want to be Kotaku out here? Just trying to piss off Ubisoft and Nintendo
and everyone.
Everyone pretty much, yeah.
Everyone, yeah.
You know? And then like a sprinkle every once in a while of like a really amazing article. Like, oh my god, this is very thought.
Yeah. Whoa, they do that every once in a while.
That's right.
That's
nuts. They don't just shit on everything for everything. This is nice.
This is it feels nice over here. It's not everything.
And you see that recipe of Life Hacker. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna check out what's that Blackstone recipe over there. I think he's down the algorithm.
No, that's the it does aggravate me to no end. Yeah, because you're totally right. Because it's like, why would I alienate? You know, if I'm a business, why would I alienate an audience? Makes no sense.
You're right.
You know, what's PlayStation doing? Walking up to Mr. IGN and like slipping him a 20. Going, you're gonna give Starfield a 7. Yes, sir. And like Xbox is just gonna look over.
I just love how they will say that on Twitter, and they go to IGN.com. We have on the front page, we have Super Mario Wonder, we have the Starfield review, we have a Todd Howard review. Like, really? Like y'all also, and then next to all of that, we have our impressions on the PlayStation Portal. Like, you know, it's like,
yeah, if we were Sony ponies,
it's very clear.
It would be all Sony stuff.
Yeah.
It just would be like 8 articles about the PlayStation Portal, and that's it. And like why the PlayStation Portal, the PSP, like should not be used
there
as
would
a
be like like the sidebar thing of like, here's features, reviews, here's PlayStation, and then every other console would be under other.
Exactly. That's how it would be if
really
they were like that. Yeah. I also love the fan base. We'll get into like the main topic of the show in a moment. But like I always love fan bases too, because I'm on Kevin's Discord, and I think there's like one person I remember mentioning. I was like, oh man, like I would love to be on Kind of Funny XCast. And they're like, really, Xbox? I'm like, well, I know this Discord is a PlayStation source Discord, but like I play other games, like, and I was like, no, in my head, I'm very much like Greg Miller, where like I want to see Xbox do so well. I don't want to see them taking L's left and right, man. Like I don't like seeing that, man. You don't want to see a company like take an L after L after L. Like even I know, IGN gave it a 7 out of 10, and what was it, Joe? You said Pace gave a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like I mean, but there's still a lot of positives as well, or there's positive sections of the game people are talking about. I like that discourse. That's better than like a Redfall, you know? Like I don't want to see Redfall after Redfall after Redfall or Halo Infinite. Like I want to see them succeed and be on level with PlayStation. I want everyone to, you know, was it Rising Tide raises all ships? Like
raise all boats, absolutely.
I mean, look, when they're running away with it, they do stuff like raising the price of monthly subscriptions.
Yeah.
Right? Because they can. And so like you want that competition because it's only going to benefit you, the consumer. So like, yeah, I want Xbox to, you know, go out there, be competitive, because then it's going to make Sony second guess some of the decisions that we begrudgingly have to accept over here right now. You know,
I feel like a lot of people don't understand that people have different tastes and like different things when it comes to their games and whatnot, and that is the joy of having multitude of different number scores. Like, and that's why it's important to find an outlet that you feel represents you when they are talking about a game. If you agree with what they're talking about, then you can kind of go off of that. Of how they view a game, and instead of just looking at a number and basing it all off of that. Like
it becomes so robotic instead of like feeling and like emotion
just
that you
click
get
on
from
the review,
gaming.
scroll all the way down, find the number, go yell about it on Twitter.
Pretty much.
Do you think back in the day Milton Bradley and Hasbro had this kind of like fights over like board games and stuff?
But they had like walking sticks or like almost like jousting or like, you know, stick fighting in the streets
Hoop
of
on
New
York.
Yeah.
Hoop and stick fights.
Those cup telephone things with like the string that attached to the Dixie cups, and they would just yell at each other.
It's like, hello, fuck you.
Better, no life's better. I don't even know if they're just different companies, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I love talking about this. But yeah, just to quickly for anyone who's watching who's not a Nerd Today fan, you know, like, share, subscribe. You're already here, just do all that crap. I need it. I want to quit my job. Anyway, so the meaning of when I created that kind of little subsection within a podcast, or a podcast within a podcast, if you want to use kind of funny terms, came with the idea that there's so many nerdy things that I love in life that have really like a big meaning for me, like they're very important, not just nerdy, but like they've impacted my life to a certain extent. First one was episode 50 of my show. I got to interview Greg Miller for the meaning of Superman. That was really cool, and that was really, I want to do a part 2 with Jared Petty, because I didn't realize like the day that went live, he was like, I want to do one. I was like, well, hold on.
Fire.
Sir. Let's do 3 hours talk about Superman, of course. And then I also did one meaning of Star Wars with my nephew. That was really fun, just talking about Star Wars with my nephew. And then I also did one for Minority Mental Health Month, where we just talked about, you know, how important mental health is with one of my best friends, Gina. So now I get the privilege to talk about one of my favorite subjects, PlayStation, with the 3 best creators of PlayStation that I can say online.
Yes.
You know?
And he had Greg Miller on the show, and he says, we're the best.
Yeah.
Take that one.
Clip that out. That's because he was supposed to play Ghostbusters, and he never did. Anyway.
Oh, see, that'll do it.
Did I make that thumbnail? Yes. Did I show it to Kevin? Yes. Did it ever happen? No. Absolutely not. No. But yeah, I mean, PlayStation means so much. And I love that we have this wide breadth of age as well, because we are all going to have different starting memories. So,
what you mean? We're all in 25.
I'm 18.
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's why I have the microphone right here, so you don't see the gray fur. Basically,
I'm a senior in high school. I can't wait to graduate this year.
I just moved up from kindergarten to 1st grade, y'all.
Honestly, I had a mustache, and I actually had a mustache, I think, in like 3rd grade. So yeah,
really,
I'm Puerto Rican, man. Of course I did.
I had my full beard in sophomore year of high school, I think.
Nice.
Or like late freshman, I think. Yeah.
I had sideburns, and I'd make like I was Wolverine looking sideburns. Yes, I thought it was really cool. Nobody else did.
I went to Catholic school, and I was not allowed. Yeah, high school.
Jesus did not like sideburns.
Well, I had like a little bit of like peach feathers on my lip, and I remember the disciplinarians, like legendary in the history of our school, came up and was like, "Hey, man, I don't know if this is like an ethnic thing or like whatever, but you got to get rid of it." I was like,
"Oh my god, what the?"
But this Jesus was white, so you're gonna shave the mustache. All
I was
right?
like, "This is day
crazy.
0. This is day 0 of my high school journey. What do you? This is orientation. What the fuck?" And then day 1 was, a day of September 2001 that we don't, that was my first day of high school.
That was my uncle.
That was your first day of high school.
0 and 1 is like, what the fuck is going on?
Damn.
Why is life so wicked right now?
That's wild.
Oh my
This is
god.
an ethnic thing. That's
That
crazy.
is crazy. That's a crazy statement.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
god, I
a
can't
crazy
believe
statement.
Kyle
That's an
Stevenson
insane
said that to you.
No.
Wow.
Kyle was me.
I was like, we're the same age. We're the
A
same age.
different Kyle.
But yeah, I want to get everyone's kind of gauge of where we all started with PlayStation. We're gonna start with Kyle. What is your earliest memory of PlayStation?
Oh boy, earliest memory I think I was lucky enough to trick my parents into renting a PlayStation from Blockbuster.
Remember you could do that. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't afford it. And I played everything that I could play on the NES because we stole that from my uncle. Because my uncle liked to flaunt his wealth. We don't like him very much. Clearly, why? That's a big red flag there. And I played what I could there, and I remember going to school and kids talking about like this Crash Bandicoot fella, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I would get like Game Pros in the mail,
Yes, Game
and
Pro.
like what was the other old one?
EGM.
Maybe it was EGM. Yeah, it was one of the two. And then finding out that the games that I was drawn to were PlayStation games in those magazines, and finding out that there's a magazine called PSM, which is
that.
like, I so badly want that whole stack of magazines, but they're like real expensive on eBay. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
I saw them recently too, and I was like,
Yeah. Oh god, they're iconic.
I can't believe I threw them out.
Yeah,
So
I
angry.
know, right?
No.
Jeez. But yeah, anyways, it led to me like finally begging to rent a PlayStation, and I rented it with like Crash Bandicoot. And I think there was another game, but it wasn't that memorable because I would just kept playing Crash Bandicoot for like the 4 days or whatever it was that you could rent it for. And only the opening level because it didn't come with a memory card. So
Oh, I didn't think
just
of
had
that.
to keep
Yeah, you would need
replaying
one.
it. Yeah, Blockbuster didn't let us know that or include it. Yeah, so that was my earliest memory, and then I just fell head in, and that's been my primary place to play since then. And that was, I don't know, 97, 98, something like that.
Okay. And
Yeah.
when did you get your first PlayStation console? Like,
It was that Christmas.
oh, okay. It was the
Um,
PS1.
I got the PlayStation with like a stack of games.
Hell yeah, man.
I got
That's awesome.
very very lucky. Way too many games that I thought that I was allowed to get. But it was wild. I had a good time.
That's awesome. I love hearing stuff like
Yeah.
that. Kev, since you're the as I mentioned, the Prince of Hype, and with Prince duties, you're a little younger than us. What was
Am
your
I the
earliest?
youngest in here?
Yes,
Oh
you
shit,
are.
I am.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm
Yeah,
a
'cause
senior
you-
in high school.
Because
That's right. I'm sorry, Joe's the youngest. Yeah, I apologize.
Kyle said
you.
98. I'm like, damn, y'all was born 98. Yo, was good. Like,
Mm.
I was born 98.
It was 11.
Wait, when were you born, Kev?
You said 98.
I was born 98.
Oh my god, he doesn't remember 9/11.
No, I mean, I have a little tiny memory, but
It's my second
I
day of
was
school.
in preschool. Yeah, I
Like
was
it was
very,
second day of
very-
high
yeah.
school.
Yeah,
I was in preschool. I have a very tiny memory, but that's
Oh my
not
God.
crazy important.
that's crazy.
Okay, so my first time I got a PlayStation is
Yeah, that in your earliest
Yeah.
memory. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So 2-part. It was summer. I was here in Phoenix. We had moved from Queens like 2 years prior, I think. And my mom with us 4 kids, at least like twice a year, she would get 4 beach towels, get 4 Clorox bottles, and get 4 sponges, break up the bottom of the house into 4 different sections, and we'd have to do the grout.
Oh,
if you ever done grout, that's some tough work. It's tough. It
sucks.
Meticulous. It's tough. It's tough. So we was doing that all day. Me and my son was like, we're like, damn, like I don't want to do this or that. So we're just busting it out. And then my dad came home and was like, hey, I know y'all kids did the grout. It looks great. I appreciate it. And he opened up this bag that he had, and it was a PS2. And I went crazy. Crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, none of my other siblings like really like cared, but I was over the moon crazy.
That's awesome.
So that was the first console I ever had that I remember. My uncle had a PS1 back in the day that he said that we played together, but I was way too young to even really remember that. And then I think what really like started my like love for gaming for real was when my uncle came to visit from New York. Maybe I think that must have been that Christmas then. It must have been like a few months after that. He saw me playing Need for Speed Underground 2, one of my favorite games of all time. Like, shout out to Underground 2, fire. And he's like, "Oh snap, can I play?" And he's like, and then the idea of like an adult playing a game, never, because my parents were not in the games at all. Like that was not their bag. So I was like, yeah, sure. And so we're playing split screen. He's teaching me like all these things that I didn't know about, whatever, and like all that. And I was like, damn, like that's so cool. Like adults can like games too. Like that's sick. Like this doesn't have to just be like in my kid years. Then I went on and like I became a big COD fanboy. Very, very big on COD. Like just only played that exclusively early on, like from like 2009 to like 2011, right? And then in 2011, as we all know here, the great PSN outage of 2011 occurred. We all remember that very well. We all know. So I left my COD commentators that I would watch on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And I went to seek out, why is the network down? Like how can I, how can I get back to Call of Duty? So then I kept searching and I found this little podcast called Podcast Beyond on this gaming network called IGN, whatever. And they were doing like this countdown of like, all right, what's the latest? What do we know about this outage and all that, whatever. And they kept talking about these, really big PlayStation games like Uncharted and etc. I'm like, oh, like shit, like I have a PlayStation, like I've accessed those games, like they like say it's really cool, whatever. And they start talking about Last of Us and everything. I was like, oh, okay, like this game that's coming up. So I binged Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 while the network was down.
What a way to holy shit.
And I was fully like, no, I think by that point it was probably only 1 and 2. I don't think 3 was out yet at that point. Was 3 out yet?
3 was about to. I think 3 was about to drop because that's when I was working at GameStop.
Yeah,
gotcha. That's right.
Yeah,
it was like a month after, right? I think after the outage.
I think it's a few months. I think that came out around like late October, early November. I remember that midnight launch.
Yeah. So then I was like, damn, like Uncharted was great. I really enjoyed Nathan Drake. Like I enjoyed the gameplay, I enjoyed the story, all that. Like it was great. And then the network finally came on, and like I remember that podcast vividly of them like celebrating the network being on and like popping balls, I think, or whatever. Like they were doing great. Yeah, I should not have been listening that young, but I was, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of just kept listening to Beyond, and then that extended to Kind of Funny, of course, where I still listen to that today. Even LSM as well with Colin as well. I still bump Sacred Symbols and such. And how I basically got to making PlayStation content was like growing up. I had people that were like fans of Call of Duty, right? And like that like played games, but like no one was like trying to get down and talk about Uncharted or like Last of Us or etc. So I just started making content on YouTube and just talk about PlayStation and everything, and then that grew into where we are here, So definitely like PlayStation like is definitely very important to me, and like it's helped permeate so many things in my life for sure. So
that's awesome. I love that. I love that.
Indeed. Kevin and I have similar journeys.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I'm very interested. So first and foremost, the woman I'm currently seeing, I just wanted to make sure that she remember 9/11. You go, like, where were you? Apparently preschool. So here we are. All right.
She's an adult. Let's preface that she's an adult now.
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah. And I'm in high school.
Yeah, she's the one in the wrong, not Joe.
That's right.
She's the one in the wrong.
That's right.
She's the
Well,
one.
you back yourself into a corner real hard, man.
She's the one.
You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy, yo.
Man, you guys were on Podcast Beyond once. I don't think it's gonna happen again. No.
I don't think so either, no.
Oh man.
All right, no. Man, my first PlayStation memory. Right, that's where we are. Honestly, so everybody that watches the trophy room knows this. I was never a PlayStation kid growing up. I was always SNES. Growing up is like probably the console to me that I remember the most. Then probably the N64 and then PlayStation. PlayStation was the console my grandparents got because they thought that's how we would visit them more often is if we bought a video game console and one that we didn't own. So kind of sharing Kyle's similar path is like we'd go to Blockbuster and like rent a PlayStation game, but the memory, like there's no memory card. So like that game's useless, right? At the end of the day. So they had a demo disc because they don't understand how games work. They were like 60 back in the day, right? So we had a demo disc of Spyro, of Crash, and a few others. I think Twisted Metal is on there. And we would just play that constantly when we were over our grandma's house. Now, my cousins at the time, who are now dead to me, they would actually have like a whole just like a whole tray of like CDs. You remember like the binders you put CDs in? I forget what those are called. And he was like, here's Twisted Metal. Here's Gex the Gecko, who is Gex is the man,
back,
and he
baby.
needs to come back. He's back, baby. And that's what that's kind of my PlayStation memories was going to my grandparents' house, her making me salami sandwiches and playing demo discs of games. And then, having my cousin Carlos, who's dead to me now, come
Not
over.
me. Not me.
Not you, different Carlos.
I'll replace him if you want.
Honestly, can you?
Yeah,
you
sure.
seem like you're way better. Okay, great. So my old cousin Carlos would come, and that's where we would play PlayStation. It wasn't, I kind of similar. Like the first PlayStation I owned, it was mine, was the PS2. And low key, I was disappointed it wasn't an Xbox.
Oh,
that's how my mentality was. But that PlayStation was the one in the red box with Gran Turismo in it, which was dope. And it was there where I discovered the mascots, right? So like for the PS2, what was huge for me was Ratchet and Clank. And like Up Your Arsenal is still one of my favorite platformers just to the day. Yeah. Like Jak and Daxter was huge to me. Jak 3 in particular was huge for me because I wasn't allowed to play Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, so you basically got
that was
to do it there.
Yeah. That was the rated T version for the most part. And even then, I remember finagling my way to get Vice City for via Blockbuster, begging my parents and saying it was for my brother. Obviously, it was for me, and I was too scared to put the disc in because like my mom would walk in, and then over time, them breaking and me getting San Andreas and sinking God knows how many hours into that game. It's probably my most played game on PlayStation. And honestly, one of my probably still is my favorite Grand Theft Auto. But even then, like the PS2 era I do have really fond memories. It is, I'm always lucky that in most generations, I've always owned every console. So like, I just always got to experience a little bit of everything. But during the PS3 time, that's where I became a fanboy. That's where I became, hey, you rated Starfield a 7? I'm coming after Kev's job. And it was there where I became like an Xbox 360 fanboy. And it wasn't until working at GameStop where that slowly broke. Because I did watch that one episode of Podcast Beyond, right? It's like it is so, I think it's probably one of the most influential things in PlayStation, to be honest.
I think it's a cultural
Is that
impact. Yeah.
Yeah. And during that time, there was so I worked at GameStop. This one person came in and he had a PS3. Now, my brother owned the PS3 and I'd watch him play like things like Metal Gear Solid and all that stuff. But I wanted my own, right? And I didn't want to fork over what was, I think, around $300 at the time for a console.
Just
and
get a
God
second
knows,
job, bro.
exactly.
Just get a second
so
job.
this guy comes in and he only has his PS3, right? It's a slim, and he has no cables, he has no controller. And he's like, how can I sell this thing? I'm like, I can give you, I think I was like, I'll give you $80 for it. Like, we could go outside. You're not supposed to do that. That's a fireable offense. So
Everyone
he
at
got
GameStop
weed
did it,
money.
I think. I did it.
Oh, we definitely did. So he got his weed money. I got a PlayStation 3 that I was disinfecting that entire night. And I go to my buddy Mike at the time, and I go, all right, man, what's the games that I need to play? And he just started rattling off a few. He's like, but I'm going to stop you there. Like, before we get, like, you buy the whole catalog. He's like, first we need to buy a controller. So I bought the camo one.
Oh,
I bought the Bluetooth headphone.
Yes,
right?
the
It
little
would come later.
Yes,
I love
sir.
that thing.
Yes,
But the
sir.
game he introduced me was Uncharted 2. And it was in that moment where I was like, wow, I was a fanboy for like 4 years. What the stupid, dumb decision. This game is incredible.
insane.
Like,
that whole beginning is insane.
And the beauty of it, and that's when I bought the headphone, because I was like, let me play online. Uncharted 2's online is fucking awesome. I don't know if I could cuss. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you
but
can.
Like, it's awesome. It's incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I remember playing that right after the blackouts ended, and then I got like Little Big Planet for free.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
that's how.
Yeah,
so like that's how the whole, that's how I really got into the PlayStation ecosystem. That's when I just started deep diving into all of them, because if you worked at GameStop, if there's a used game on that shelf, you get to take it out for a few days and play it. And, maybe even sometimes a new game. That's why you never buy an unsealed copy of a game. You've been warned. So, that's what I did. I kind of just immersed myself in the culture of PlayStation, and I kind of dove headfirst into it, because at this time I was just so disillusioned by Xbox because of how many red rings I got. I literally had like 6 to 8.
That was
I lost count. That's how many. Yeah, that's how many I was.
I think I had 2. Yeah,
Wow.
and I knew I was
rough.
lucky. I
rough
had
out
2.
there.
You ever had the yellow light of death?
No, so that's actually my brother.
That happened mine too. Yeah, that happened to me.
My brother actually bought one that had the yellow light of death, I think. And he was able to fix it. I have no idea how. But that's how he got his PS3.
I didn't take my PS3 apart to recover my Rock Band what was it, 3 disc, because it was stuck in there because of the yellow light. I'm like,
God.
no.
I begged my dad to take me to like this like repair shop that I found, and I called him I'm like, listen, like my PS3 is blinking yellow, like can you fix it? He's like, I bring it in and we'll see. And I'm like, Dad, please. And it was far. It was like 4 or 5 minutes. So he did. He was able to fix it, thank Christ. But yeah. Oh man.
God.
Yeah.
Good times.
It really is the PS3 that like really ushered me into, this is my main platform. Because for me, it was like, as a kid, Nintendo. As a teen, Xbox. And as an adult, for the last 10 plus years now, it's been PlayStation. And that's where I hang my hat up every night,
Yeah.
Playing some Sea of Stars right meow.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, for me, one of my earliest memories, I remember, because I was similar to you, Joe, and everyone. Like I was mainly like a Sega kid, actually, funny enough. I was like very Sega for Genesis and SNES. I had a SNES, but I had more Genesis games than anything. And I remember going over to a buddy of mine, Chris Weber's house, and him and his older brother were playing this game. I'm like, yo, what are you playing? What is this? He's like, oh, it's called Resident Evil. It's a zombie game. I'm like, wait, what? And I just watched him just play the whole game start to finish, and I was like mesmerized. And he's like, oh, dude, wait, like tomorrow, come over. He's like, wait till you see this, man. I'm like, all right, cool. And so the next day I come over, we're all hanging out. And he's like, oh yeah, sorry, I wanted to show you something. This is called Final Fantasy VII.
Oh,
and I was like, wait, I kind of heard of I was like, I've heard of Final Fantasy. There's 7? I thought like the last one I saw was 3 in GamePro or EGM. I'm like, what do you mean there's 7? It's on what? And then I just sat there as he was like fighting the snake right after Midgard and going through the towns, and I'm like, this is the greatest game I've ever seen in my life. And I went home that weekend because it was like at my godfather's house. Like he lived up in Northeast Philly, so like it was on that block that I had those friends. And I went back home, back to North Philly. I was like, Mom, I need a PlayStation. And she's like, you don't need another Nintendo. That's a Hispanic joke, just in case anyone doesn't know. He's like, you already have 6 Nintendos. I'm like, no, I have 1 and a Game Boy. This is, I'm not going to argue with you. But I was like, I want this. I had this whole line, though. I was like, I want this, I need this, and all this stuff, right? So she plays koi, whatever. And I think their famous thing is they sold pasteles in the Christmas time. That's how they, like, basically how I got through high school, Catholic high school, and, like, I got stuff. And it's Christmas. And so for us, we open our gifts at midnight on Christmas Eve. And I open my stuff, and she was like, no, you gotta open this one first, and then these little ones over here. I was like, okay. So I open up this box, and it's a PlayStation 1 with the DualShock 1. So it's like right after. So
yes,
man. And I freak out. I'm like jumping for joy. I'm running around and I had to look it up while we were talking because I was like, I got a game that came out right after launch, which was Tekken 3 was the next game. She's like, I could not find this Final Fantasy game. I'm so sorry. I'm like, dude, no, you're fine. Like, I get it. It's popular.
I love
calling your mom, dude. No.
I was like, no, you got
it. Bro, it's okay. You gave birth to me, bro. It's fine.
Yeah, I got you.
We're even.
And so I had that. She gave me another controller, but because they were so accustomed to cart-based systems, they didn't know that they needed to buy me, like her and her partner needed to buy me a memory card. So they thought it was like an accessory. They like the N64. They knew because I was very knowledgeable because of like reading Game Pros and EGMs and magazines like that and Game Informer. That like I knew certain accessories. I knew for the N64 you don't really need a memory card unless you're taking it to your friend's house. Well, you need one for the PlayStation, and I just forgot to mention that on the list that I had for Christmas. So I played through, I think, from midnight to about 4 a.m. until they finally yelled at me to go to bed. Because people were coming over for Christmas morning. Most of Tekken 3, like arcade mode, I just ran it through as like Law, as Gone. I unlocked Gone, which is very difficult if you know Tekken. I like ran through all these characters without being able to save. So I had to do it all over again when I finally got my Mad Catz memory card, and then that broke.
The one that had like the little rubber on it too. The little like rubber like thumb thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I found out early on that you got to buy official peripherals. It's a little easier nowadays, but yeah.
So I felt like a king getting the Mad Catz like wireless controller. It was like see-through, very clearly made of like the cheapest plastic.
Oh my god, yeah, it's probably toxic plastic. That's what it was. Yeah.
This was from a landfill. The only great third-party controller was that Logitech controller in the PS2 and the Ocean Gate rig.
I was gonna say
that controller was awesome. And I remember like the PS3 controller kind of had like the original, like the boomerang looking thing. Kind of like modeled its design after it. Like it was such a it just molded to your hand so damn well.
Yeah.
But every time someone was over, you hand them the Mad Catz controller.
100%.
You hand them the one with the turbo rumble.
And everyone would be so upset. Yeah.
They're like, all right.
That Turbo Rumble too. I love when you would like input, like you hit square, and it would just not work because the rumble is too powerful and is like just taking over everything else.
It's like shaking your desk, you know? Yeah.
Question for Carlos,
Yeah.
since you had a PS1 as like your first PlayStation, did you get like magazines with like disc covers, like the stickers to put over the disc cover?
Oh no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I did. No,
So, I used to have one. I think it was a PSM thing.
I think it was. Yeah.
I remember it very clearly because it was for a game that was so outrageous that they canceled it. You ever hear of the game called Thrill Kill?
Oh yeah.
Too violent.
Yeah.
Like, beat 'em up fighter that they pulled after.
I remember ads in EGM, and I'm like, this shit looks crazy.
I think PSM had a disc cover for it, and that was on my PlayStation for the longest time. And I was like,
oh my god, what is this game?
Oh, it's insane.
I got.
Oh yeah, look it up. Yeah, you can look it up.
It's like some weird BDSM stuff, dude.
It was done, like completely done.
Yeah, I think it had like a release date and everything, and
yeah, it went gold and everything, and they just pulled it at the last second.
Yo, what kind of? Whoa!
The guy ripped off a guy's. Yeah, even I would be like, all right.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah. There was a lot of Mortal Kombat pretenders at the time that were like going for broke, and this is definitely one of them. And they were just like, "Fuck it, let's just throw everything at the wall. Let's see what we can get away with." And they went too far. They obviously touched
they absolutely did. Ripping someone's arms off and using them as weapons is a little, it's a little too far.
I mean,
this just to paint a picture, this thick Dom mommy with a taser for an arm is about to sit on this fella who is only wearing a diaper and stilts. That's what the type of game you can expect.
Yeah,
ready for everyone. Ready for everyone.
Yeah,
Carlos.
Yeah,
I did have a question, bro, because you invoked the name Final Fantasy VII, of course. Did you ever get it? Like, did you get to play it?
Oh yeah. Eventually, I went. There was like a pawn shop like a couple blocks away from me, and I went in. I don't know why we went in there. Oh, she's dead now, so it's fine. My other mom, her partner. Wait, that's dark. I love her to death, though. Don't get me wrong. But she was like a kind of like a bookie, and she would like run numbers to different places in the neighborhood.
I feel that.
And so I would go on walks with her because she's like a little old lady, and I was a very big like teenager, so I would go with her and stuff. Because I like, of course, I look intimidating, but I'm just a big ass teddy bear. But we one of the shops was like the pawn shop because they ran numbers in the back, and I was just like standing there while she was doing stuff. And I was like, oh, Final Fantasy, it's like it's here. I was like, how much money do I have? And she's like, do you want that? I was like, yes, please. She's like, okay, I got it. And I ended up buying it.
Nice.
Ooh, man,
Fire, man.
There was such a deep dive with PlayStation 1. That's funny enough too. I was such an N64 kid, and once I got my PS1, I just pretty much transitioned over. Like, because also being funny, like a wrestling fan, like No Mercy and everything came out for 64, and they're amazing. They're, are arguably some of the best games ever. But then you wanted what was next, and that was on PlayStation, which was SmackDown games. They started there. There's that ECW. My God, I played the ECW game all the time. Me and my cousin would switch because he bought ECW and I bought SmackDown, so we would just trade every week and play as the other. But yeah, then that's where
ECW had. Games. I think Thunder was its own game.
Thunder was one. They have great intros. You should look them up on YouTube if you have a chance. But yeah, I fell down this like RPG rabbit hole too. That's when like I really started falling in love with RPGs, like 7, 8, which is it's okay.
Hey, hold on now.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people like 8.
It's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah,
6 I hear is really good.
I haven't got to 6 yet, but I have to. I'm about to play 5 for Chaos Bringers, for the first time ever. But then I got to play literally my favorite Final Fantasy ever, and it's like it was like a cultural touchstone, like something that like impacted me so much, and it was Final Fantasy 9. And man, I was like, I'm the RPG dude. Like this is my thing. This is my bread and butter. This is what I love. I'm never going back. I was like so hooked on specifically Final Fantasy 9, and I love that story so much. obsessed, absolutely obsessed. And then
Vivi's my boy.
oh fucking Steiner, I love Steiner. He's one of my favorite characters ever. Beatrix, oh my god, yeah, I can't. I hope there's a remake coming out. Come on, Nvidia leaks.
Please.
No, like that Nvidia leak has proved too.
Yeah, it's happening at this point. Yeah,
it's real.
We
Yeah,
already have Kingdom Hearts 4. You know, all
it's
this
real.
stuff.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's real. There's too many cases.
Mhm.
Yeah, for me, Joe and Kyle already know. I'm sure you know Carlos too.
Yeah.
Like 7 remake changed my life. Like
Mhm.
changed my whole entire like.
Yeah, when that episode comes up, by
felt-
the way, I'm gonna get you on.
Oh,
Yeah.
I felt like timelines breaking, you know, and like this is truly the prime. Like this is what I was meant to.
Everything
like,
faded away.
This is
You're
it.
like, oh wait,
Yeah, and, like
I'm in the right line.
This is the pure. Indeed, this is the prime timeline. Yeah.
That is like why I think I love PlayStation so much and why I'm happy I grew up in the PS1 era, because when you think of the RPGs that PS1 had, oh my god, it's like untouched in like any other generation. The 3 you mentioned, and then one of my favorite of all time, which is finally getting re-released on current consoles, Star Ocean 2.
Oh yeah,
is like bar none one of my favorites ever.
Persona
PS1
started
game.
there. Jesus,
Persona,
yeah.
Legend of Dragoon, Xenogears.
Legend of Dragoon. Man. Oh my god.
Oh my god, what's the Vagrant Story?
Mm.
Like there's so many good PS1, and Square, right? Square Soft at the time were just like pumping out banger after banger.
Jesus.
Oh
No, I had to, Joe. Listen, we're not here to show I'm not going to listen to this slanger nonsense.
Listen, when I'm in the room, it's like we're in an ambassador like building. Okay, you're on trophy room soil, but I'm in like a different country. That's what it's like. Okay, I'm an embassy. All right.
Yeah, diplomatic immunity.
Exactly.
I would kill to, you know, I've been able to go back and like be an adult during the eras that y'all talk about, because like I was so young, so like I mean it was a couple of me being so young, and also like my parents, God bless them, obviously they're the best, right? But like they weren't so keen on like buying me every game I wanted, right? Like it was very much like, oh, here's, you know, 2 or 3 a year. So like Battlefront 2 is really near and dear to me. University Underground's near and dear to me on like PS2 era, stuff like that. But like I very much have a very limited scope on like PS2, and then arguably a little bit on PS3, but it got a lot better on PS3 because I was able to be a little bit more persuasive.
Get a job, hippie.
Also that, I mean, PS4, I was gone, like I was
Off
good on
races,
PS4. You know, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like that, like there's not a problem getting games. But I have fond memories. I don't think anyone's brought it up here, but shout out to the PSP. We got to give respect.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have to give respect to our beloved Vita, of course. Big up to the Vita. And I gotta give a little bit of a deep cut. You know what I'm saying? A reasonable deep cut. You know, my favorite PSP model is the beloved PSP Go. Do y'all recall the PSP Go?
Oh yes.
Let's really talk about it. Yes, sir. Ahead of its time, a fully digital console. Very ahead of its time.
That's right.
That's when PlayStation was doing weird shit, and it worked. Like it was.
I love the PSP Go. I love that PSP Go. I love that thing. I love that thing so much. Yeah. Shout out to PSP Go.
I got to borrow that a couple times. I had really nice friends that would let me borrow their PSP Go because I didn't get to own one. Man, oh my god, that was so fun.
So cool.
Shout out to the PSP because that console was awesome. Like Dynasty Warriors was my jam on that. Yeah,
God War games are fire. Like, bro, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Also, another thing too that was. Oh, sorry. So
no, it's okay. You talk. I'm bringing it out. Oh.
Yeah, I got.
Oh, respect to the king.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
our beloved Vita, our beloved.
That's right. Shout out to PlayStation. Triangle Square.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a combination of like my parents not being really in the game, so like they were never really like, you know, never really like bought every game I wanted. Right. It was that, but then also I don't know how y'all grew up, but at least for me, I was not allowed to play games during the weekdays. Whenever
my parents tried that.
Yeah, it was brutal. But for some reason, my parents saw a difference between the DS and the PSP versus the PS2. You know, so they didn't.
You really worked out.
really care about the PSP.
Yeah.
and the DS, but I could only play PS2 from Friday after school until Sunday night.
Did you tell them how unreasonable they were being?
It must have been the whole like you not sitting in front of the TV. They were okay with that.
I get what they instilled like when I was older and I talked to them about it because like they were just trying to like make sure that I have, I do the work. Like you get your work done, then you get your enjoyment. And I very much still frame my whole life around like, hey, get your work done, and then after you can have your leisure time and stuff like that. So like, I definitely like am appreciative that they built that into me, but I still sometimes like
But come on, Ma. Yeah.
What's happening?
Oh,
shit. Oh shit. Yo,
what the hell?
Carlos's room is about to turn into a rave.
Shuhei Yoshino's here.
Yeah. Cast her eyes ghosts.
I forgot what the remake ghosts are called. What do they call them again? It's been a minute.
The remake ghosts.
Mentors.
The whispers.
Whispered ones? The
whispers
ones or something?
Whispers.
Yeah.
Wait for 7, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The whispers.
Like, Carlos is being visited by the plot ghosts.
Yeah, right. What is that, Carlos?
That hue light's gone. By the way, it was purple the whole time. That was blue. So I knew it was like going little by little. I was like, I think the hue. I was like telling my wife the other day. I was like, because this is our bedroom. I was like, I think the hue light's dying. She's like, really? Why? I was like, and you can set it to like 5% brightness, and it just turned red. I was like, that's why. I was like, it's not really doing colors correctly. I don't think. I think we got. I got Govi lights though, which is nice. I'll just pop one of those in there.
To that point, Kev, like my mom now being a grown ass man now here who still plays games, she's like, why do you keep playing games? I'm like, well, listen, Mom, my first earliest memory when it comes to video games is me coming down the stairs one morning and you yelling and cursing playing Mario on Nintendo.
Oh,
and
that's
so,
cool.
Like, that's like my first like video game memory, and me sitting down and playing like Punch Out with my dad, and so like video games has always been like a thing with me, and I've obviously carried it, and it's been like my favorite hobby ever.
Yeah,
but like
that's sick.
They've also been the parents of like, yeah, no, it's time to not play anymore, and they were smart enough to plug the consoles in tied to the light switch on the wall, to the room.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, smart.
So they would walk in the room and be like, all right, Kyle, you need to go take out the garbage or whatever. It's like, okay, Mom, one more round or whatever. And when I obviously was more than one more round, they would come in and just flip the light switch and all the power in the room would go.
You're like, all right.
And I'm like, all right, okay, fine.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, no, I wore my parents down. I just was a fine kid. I'm like, I don't ask for much. I could be doing drugs. All right. Could have joined a gang. All right. And I would have been revered in this gang. It would have been called the Banana Gang. All right. I would have been the best one in there. And I wasn't. I was a good kid.
I like to think Joe's like on a chair. Like as a kid. Like just a grand speech. Like it's like,
Mother, do you want me to join a gang?
Or be a
Do you want me to sling cocaine, Mom? Is this what you want for your young little boy?
With crayons on them, like a crayon print overalls, with him telling all the gang.
Here, look at my 5-point.
We'll make a chain gang, Mother. And we shall rule this town.
Yeah,
you'll let me play PS2. The choice is yours.
I was very afraid to defy my parents, so I was not doing that.
I was a bad kid. I was a bad egg. But I would say one of my favorite PlayStation 2 memories, real talk, it's the one I always remember, is coming home from middle school. Not coming home, sorry, hanging out with my friends after middle school and playing San Andreas with them because my one friend unlocked the San Francisco portion.
Oh, okay.
And I remember we were all trying to go, okay, who could get 5 stars the longest and and survive. And I remember me saying, while I'm going on this killing spree and I'm mowing down just all these people on the sidewalk with my Cadillac, I'm blaring out Rod Stewart music. like I'm listening to 106.7 Light FM while I'm running over civilians. And my friends are like, "Oh my God, you're so good." And my only reply is, "Yeah, I love listening to Rod Stewart when I kill."
Oh, that's crazy.
Man. So again, me and the Banana Gang.
fun little story about San Andreas. My dad one day randomly came home with a copy of San Andreas. You know, it was like, hey, like called my people at work, like said that it's a good game. I figured if you want to try it, go ahead and play it. I'm like, okay, cool, that sounds good.
Does mom know?
I didn't go, I didn't go to the strip club. I didn't do anything crazy. I was straight chilling, literally walking down the street. What happened was my mom walked in, right? And I got on a bike in San Andreas, right? And I started to pedal and a car hit me. Didn't kill me, just hit me, knocked me down. I got up, I was fine. My mom was like, no. She took it on the PS2 and gave it to my dad, and my dad took it back.
Like, Bob, you have no idea.
Like,
it gets worse.
I'm like, that's the line.
I used to, and I saw a TikTok very recently that made me laugh so hard. Of when I was little, booting up any GTA game, like the loading screens, like the characters.
Yeah.
Whenever there was like a very sexy woman would pop on screen, immediately like look around, like, oh, please don't come in now.
This is the worst part. Don't do it. Don't do it.
20 more seconds.
I remember having to filibuster my parents for San Andreas. I remember standing in front of the 60 minutes piece, and I'm like, it's not real. I don't even go to the strip club. That's when you're like, I didn't even go to the strip club. Like that was my plea. Like, I don't even know what it is yet, Mom. I'm a young boy.
I've never seen
an
a
innocent
boob.
young man. Exactly. When I see him, it's like at 1 o'clock in the morning and it's squiggly. I can't even make out anything, Mom. She. And I don't even know how I got it. I don't even know how I broke them. It was just, I think it was just peer pressure of like, all my friends have it. Come on, please. I won't kill the hooker. I'll just pay her and leave. If that's where we need to draw
Thank
the
you for
line.
your services.
All right.
Don't spill hot coffee.
I won't even. I'm not going to ask that lady out on the date. Okay, Mom? All right. You know what? If I see a woman of the night, I'm going to pay them to stay off the streets.
Okay. Keep them safe.
That's right.
I remember being in middle school and trying. This is not like PlayStation related specifically, but like I remember trying to explain to my dad, like, listen, Dad, like, I need the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 stimulus package. Like, you don't understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, like, is it a new game? I'm like, no, but like, it's like more maps for the game I already have. And he's like, what do you mean more maps?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? I'm like, more maps for me to play on in online. And he's like, but it's not a game. I'm like, no, because I already have it. And he's like, why are you buying another? Like, he could not comprehend. Like,
I mean, it was hard for a lot of us to comprehend
stimulus
DLC at that time. Like, what?
He's like, the
Like,
stimulus
what are we?
package?
He's like, Morgan Stanley? Like, what is?
I'm like, Dad, it's the come on, it's the stimulus.
Remember that? In like 2008, 2009, they're like, hey, there's this financial crisis. Let's just
that's a crazy
DLC over it.
name for it. That's a crazy name for it, bro.
Dude, the marketing guy thought he was genius when he made that up, you know?
Stimulus package.
Stimulus package.
That's why for me to go back to like with like parents and stuff. I remember I was talking to my friend, funny enough, the other day. She was like, "Wait, you had PlayStation? You had all this stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, I was not allowed to go outside because our neighborhood was so bad. Like, it was my neighbor, my next door neighbor, killed somebody when he was like 14. Yeah. And then had to go to
Holy
juvie.
shit, you don't play with that kid. That kid's a bad influence.
Yeah, exactly.
Carlos. I don't know if you know that.
So she's like, you're staying inside. So whatever I need you to. Huh?
Joe was in the gang.
That's right.
Yeah.
Joe's gang.
Snitches get stitches, bitches. You know,
that was like crazy though, because like not this is PlayStation related, obviously, more video games, but I remember we all heard the bang. You know, we're like, oh, well, someone.
Oh my god, you heard it happen?
Yeah, because it was like
I
around the
didn't
corner.
know you were saying that.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
And then all we hear in our back window, because we had like a metal grate, and you hear like a knock, and you're like, what the fuck? And it's him. He's like, I need you to hide me. And my mom's like, listen, I'm not gonna hide you. I'm not gonna help the cops. I'm not gonna do anything. Just get the fuck away. Get the fuck away from us. Like, get away from your mom too. Like, because it was our neighbors. Like, run. I don't know what to do. Tell you, just go. Get out of here. You go. And it was.
And Kyle, you think my neighborhood's a little crazy when you hear these motorcycles go on by, right? Imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's like, anything I could keep you inside. What was this Dragon Ball? What is that? You can watch that. Okay, comic books here, throw them. so
That's
that
awesome.
has created nerd.
Not the murder, but like
no, not
how
the
your
murder,
mom like was just like, you stay in here.
Yeah,
you know?
I will buy you anything and anything you need to stay inside and never leave.
I mean, similar minus the murder. Like I relied on video games and stayed inside because I had no kids in my neighborhood at all.
Oh, really?
So like I was like the only kid for like multiple streets away, and they were like miles away from each other. So like,
wow,
I needed something to keep myself occupied. The only thing I did was read Goosebump books, and I would fly through those in like one a day, and then I got the Nintendo, and then here I am. Like,
right? It's nuts.
Got to keep occupied somehow.
Yeah, I was lucky though. I was lucky with that stuff. And then like Mortal Kombat was so big, like when we were growing up, and that was like a little scary thing because the news is like, oh my god, there's murder and all this stuff. And my mom looked at me, she's like, because I was like, I want it, and she's like, I don't know, and we had to sit down. And I don't know like how old I was. It had to be around like Mortal Kombat 2.
You'd be like,
I was young as hell.
Listen, Mortal Kombat.
Exactly. Listen, dude, listen. She's like, you're never gonna hurt anybody, right? Like the second you hurt somebody, like in any way, shape, or form, this is gone. I was like, okay. And she's like, fine.
Reasonable. It's reasonable.
Yeah. So I got to play. She's like, this is fake, right? I'm like, yeah, of course I know this is fake. I can't pull someone's spine out there. I
tried, Mom.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, it just doesn't work
It's
that way.
funny though. I have those same talks with like my nieces when they come downstairs and I'm playing a game.
Interesting.
I was like playing Last of Us at some point. I think part 2 when it came out, and I think they were like 7 or 9 or whatever. Like, listen, this is all made up. Don't ever do this.
Yeah.
Violence is not the answer, whatever. So it's interesting how like the same kind of talks happen.
Yeah.
But like I would honestly let them still play games. Like I know they won't do anything until they prove me wrong.
Yeah, it's like, all right, well, you stepped out of line.
Yeah.
But
I won't give my kids that talk. I'll be the variable in this experiment. My kids have at it. This is all real.
This is all real. I lived through this.
This is reality.
I lived through it. You see that Vita? You see that girl playing with that Vita, and then the other girl stabs her? I had a Vita. We lived through this time, and then we got out of it.
That's right.
We got out of
it. People started wearing masks again. Yeah. We got through it.
That's great. That's amazing. That's how we got through it. Yeah. They said it was it was so crazy. You don't turn into a fungus person. It was really weird.
No, that's right. That's right.
So going back to like kind of with memories and stuff. What I want to, because it's not too many. Like I want to say, what is everyone's favorite peripheral for the PlayStation?
What a good question.
I saw how excited Kev got on Jump. So Kev, we'll start with you.
No, I need. Oh damn! I need some.
It could just be a controller too. Like it doesn't matter. Like
here's the thing. Technically, Guitar Hero, right? It's peripheral. I'm thinking like Guitar Hero 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Guitar Hero 3.
Yeah, once it
like
got
those
wireless,
are probably. Like those two games probably the most influential for me in terms of like what what I would be listening to metal wise. Like that's how I got into like Avenged Sevenfold, Disturbed, All That Remains. So I would actually say the Guitar Hero guitar, though I would never be good at Guitar Hero. It's those songs for sure. Or sorry, those games. Yeah, I would say Guitar Hero guitar.
Yeah, because when I think peripherals, a lot of times my brain always goes to Nintendo. The Super Scope, things like that, like some crazy Labo, shit like that. But like with PlayStation, like that's a good one, like because that was a cultural thing. Having the wireless controller too, like one of the first wireless controllers. You're like, oh shit, I can move around. Like I'm playing the guitar, like doing.
I have one, but it's kind of cheating. I don't know. I just remember like when I first got like this rinky dink, like shitty, like Bluetooth little headset for my PS3 and being able to communicate on the game with my homies, like while we're in Marvel 2 lobbies, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Things are crazy back in the Marvel 2 lobby, you know what I'm saying?
If you survive that, you can survive anything.
That's true. That's
true.
That's
those days were
what
nuts.
they say, man. No, they were real. Like I still feel like we don't really yo, like it was really bad.
It was
like it was
like
really bad.
You know, there's gonna be
it.
like there's gonna be a race for president or whatever one day in the near future. It's not so far away as we think. Where like someone's gonna release the tapes, and it's not like a sex tape or whatever. It's not any like locker room talk. It's the Xbox Live lobby, you know. And you just see like the other opponent be like, I don't know. Listen, I said that 50 plus years ago. That's a different me.
I'm not like that.
Of course, I love everybody from Guatemala. I love everybody from Guatemala. What I said about the Polish was a blanket statement, and I take it back. You know.
Or like AIM messages, like their old AIM messages to each other.
Yeah, that's gonna be another thing that like,
yeah.
Yeah, you signed off invisible when your future wife like logged in. That was really weird. Why did you do that? Were you cheating on her? It's like, what the hell?
You see, Kev, AIM was a thing where people.
I didn't even think about that. I was like, crap, we do have to explain that to him, don't we?
Oh, like, yeah. Damn,
AOL.com was short for American Online. Okay,
so. Yeah, because I wasn't
500 free hours every week in the mail.
Yeah, because I wasn't even allowed to like have a MySpace, yo. I wasn't allowed to have MySpace. Do y'all remember the PS3 video chat client? How like you couldn't play games while you were in it, but you were just in this like white like chat room type thing.
Yes.
And everyone's bubbles were like in circles, you know?
Yeah.
If like y'all that use it, I get it, because like it was such a like you could only do that, you know. So we would play we would do zombies Easter eggs, right? Shout out to Ascension, Shangri-La, etc. You know what I'm saying? Those eggs. And then afterwards we would chill at like 2 a.m. and just talk shit in this video chat where like we weren't playing anything. Like I remember that vividly too.
Basically what we're doing now. Discord.
Zoom.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
I remember PlayStation Home. Did you guys mess around with
PlayStation Home? Of course.
I spent hours there for no reason. I don't.
That shit was lit, man. That was the real metaverse. Man. Come on.
Yeah, I spent a good 30 minutes. See, this is when I start like my old man brain kicks in. And I'm like, this is dumb. What is this? I don't own anything here. Well, why am I making a little avatar? I could be playing a real game. You know?
I don't know what just.
I don't understand the youth.
But when PS3 was coming around to like convince my parents to get me a PS3, I was in high school and I was not working yet. I was like, oh, they're doing this really cool thing for the world where you can leave an app open and it will do science to help like cure cancer, like the folding at home thing that the PS3 had. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where it would the PS3s would all link together to create like a supercomputer that would help scientific calculations, and that was kind of like a thing that was already in a PS3, and you could just log on and just let it run, and it would help do mathematical calculations to like help.
I didn't know that.
Sort of research or whatever. Yeah.
Holy shit!
I did not know that.
I'm doing the world a service if you get me.
I'm
PS3.
helping them.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what unlocked that, but that's wild that was a thing.
Interesting. I remember.
I was gonna say I think the Guitar Hero controller is a good shout out for peripheral. Shout out to the DDR mat, like the roll.
Oh, of course. I
was a big DDR fan in high school. The multi-tap, when you can use more than just two controllers, was awesome. But when it comes to like, I don't get a whole lot of peripherals now except for like handhelds that get like a bigger grip or whatnot. But shout out to like the early like customized DualShocks. Like I love the gold PS3 DualShock. That was like my go-to. That was my baby. MLB The Show did a baseball one with like laces on it. That was super dope. So like there are like controllers like that sticks to my brain more than peripherals, I guess.
Yeah.
I know one.
Oh,
y'all. Yeah, it's definitely more recent, but the PlayStation 4 back button attachment
That's what you always bring up too. I love
that thing,
I
bro.
remember
that
thing was awesome.
It was.
That was so good.
It came in so late too. That was
bro,
so funny.
It was so late in the gen, but bro, it was so affordable, and it just made like your controller became a pro controller right there. Boom, just with the 2 buttons. $30, bro. It was fire. Perfect.
It was amazing. Fire. Fire. Right there with you, Kev.
One of the best.
That
easily.
Was easily
so good, bro. So helpful. So
it sucks that it's not on the DualSense because they want you to buy the Edge, but goddamn,
I was with you, Kev. I remember when that came out and you started making content around it because I was with you and thinking I was like, no, that's an indicator of what the PS5 is going to be like. Like this next controller is going to have that.
Exactly. Yeah, I was like, there's no way they're not doing back buttons for the stock one.
I was shocked. I was shocked when they didn't have it. I was like, it's so late in the life cycle. Like, it doesn't make sense to release it. Like, no, I mean, people are gonna play PlayStation 4 still, but like, still weird. Like to release it so late if this is not an indicator of what's coming.
So good.
God.
And I was hoping that like it would share that same port that it used I forgot what they called it on PS4. Was it the extension port, the EXT port?
I think that's what it was.
Something like that. Yeah. But I was like, yo, maybe like this will work with the PSI controller too. Lo and behold, it's like, nah, they would definitely sell you with the other one.
We're definitely backwards compatibility.
That made that controller too, an already like amazing controller in the DualShock 4, even better. Because like I don't know if you guys remember like when the PS3 came out. And what was it?
Let me get my DualShock.
Because it wasn't a DualShock when it first did.
I gotta get the DualShock 4 out.
Oh yeah, no. Go ahead.
I gotta revisit it.
You were asking what the PS3 controller was called?
The original, yeah, because it didn't have the vibration. Remember?
The 6-axis.
6-axis. That's what it was. Yeah. Because they had the whole lawsuit with whoever created Rumble, and they were like, "Nah, fuck them. We're not gonna pay them." Nintendo's like, "No, we're gonna pay you right now. Here you go." And Xbox is like, yeah, we'll pay you too. And PlayStation's like, no, fuck them. We're not gonna pay him. We're PlayStation.
It is crazy to go back to that PS2 controller, like how small and like
it's so light,
hollow. Yeah,
it feels like a toy.
I'm shocked. The triggers are you can slip off, like, bro. Yeah, that's a bad controller.
God, I remember.
It's great, but you know it's bad.
Yeah, I got my PS4 opening night. I'm thinking of opening night live. I don't know why. On launch day, and I have photos and all. It's great. Me and my best friend.
I do too.
Oh, we were hugging him, and then I got beer right after. It was nice.
I was working the GameStop midnight release.
Oh, were you?
Nice.
Yeah. I remember holding that controller and playing. What was it? Assassin's Creed. What was the one that?
Was that Black Flag?
It was Black Flag. Yeah. And I was like, man, this controller is so much better. Oh my god. Because the 6-axis and then the DualShock 3 when it finally released was so just shitty. God, it was still light even with the Rumble when they added it. Like, ugh.
I got a cool story about me getting the PS4. So I was leading up, like I was so engrossed in the lead up to PS4. Like I was doing projects in school that were like comparing the Xbox One to the PlayStation 4, and we're going over spec sheets. We're going over like, listen, like it's gonna be this much better. Like I was going crazy, and then it came around to launch. My parents went to go Black Friday shopping, so I'm like, all right, I'll just go. Whatever. They're going to Walmart, and then I see the line for the PlayStation 4, and I was like, I gotta make a move. Like it's now or never, you know? So I went in line and they were giving out tickets to be, okay, if you have a ticket, you're going to get a console. We have one for you. You're good. Don't worry about it. Right. So I get in line, I get a ticket.
Oh shit.
And then the guy behind me is waiting for his. And he's like, no, like that was the last one. Like this kid got it.
Oh shit.
And dude behind me was pissed.
Oh,
like fucking pissed. Like,
oh my god.
Like so livid, so heated. And then my dad comes over. I'm like, Dad, like I got the last PS4 ticket. He's like, Kevin, like I don't know if we can get your PS4 right now. Like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, but like it's a PS4. Like, come on, like, it's right here. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, I had the last one. He's like, nah, no, you don't. And then the worker heard him. He's like, no, like that kid like really does. And then they were talking for a little bit. And then my dad told me that he showed him the inventory of all the Walmarts in Phoenix, and at least out of all the Walmarts in Phoenix, I literally was the last one. Like I literally had the last PS4 in the city. Like straight up.
Nuts.
Like dead ass the last one. So then my dad was like, all right, fine. We'll get it, but you can't open it till Christmas. And I'm like,
That's fair.
So
Yeah.
I was on PS3 playing GTA 5, like, yo, I got my PS4 on deck, you know what I'm saying, it's in the other room. I'll open it at Christmas, you know.
Just staring at it. Just like when they're not there, just like, I know you're there.
Just that blue and white box. Like, I remember being obsessed with it.
Can we talk about the evolution of this controller?
Yeah.
Yes,
absolutely, please.
DualShock 3 is a piece of shit.
Yes. Yeah. You missed it when you were grabbing the DualShock.
I'm like, it's been so long. This
so
doesn't,
bad.
none of it. It's uncomfortable.
So light.
It's so light. It's just the thing that triggers me the most is the triggers. How they're concaved.
Yep.
Oh, that pisses me off.
They slip off. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Now, I'm going to say something, right, as I break out the Spider-Man PS4 controller.
Clean.
I love this controller so much, right? Still holds up.
Mm-hmm.
Still holds up.
It still holds up well. You know, it still feels good in your hand.
The weight to it is almost perfect, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now there are some things I don't like. Like the triggers are too light now. Like I'm used to. Where's my dual sense? Like the grips are a lot more filled out. The triggers feel, I don't know, thicker, if that's a word. It feels a lot better. But this is not a bad controller in the slightest. I remember, I mean, I loved this controller, though how many I've gone through. This is just, when I think of PlayStation, honestly, I am thinking of the DualShock 4. Like this is just this is PlayStation for me, baby.
And I was so into all the gimmicky stuff too, because I know a lot of people were like hesitant about it. But I remember playing like Infamous Second Son, and yeah, man, I and that's what, until for the longest time, if you remember, like the DualShock 4 only had the light bar up top, or like basically in the back of the controller,
in the front.
Yeah. So it was like hard to see like what I would do that all the time. Be like, oh, what? It's so cool. Like when I'm using the light power. Oh, you got the
the 20th anniversary one, bro. That one's clean.
That was
clean.
God
damn it, that was clean.
Kyle, don't trade him in.
I know. I hated that I was so poor.
I also had like the blue one.
Oh, the see-through one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that one. Yeah.
The 500th million thing.
Yeah, 500 million. Yeah.
God.
Don't say God damn it, Joe. This got me into so much debt.
No, I mean I had them. I wish I still had them. That's why I'm saying it.
But I remember like the sound effects coming through the speaker. Like I was all in for that. The touchpad, right? Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
Yep.
I was all in for that stuff, man. I loved all that stuff, and I still do to this day with the DualSense. Like I think they iterated very well with that. I just wish the battery was a little better. But they got for the little charging thing that you throw it on.
The only thing I have a gripe with, honestly, is that I really wish they kept the sacred symbol colors.
Yeah.
And the buttons. Like I wish we. Like I wish we kept those colors. Like, come on now.
Yeah, if it wasn't going to be colored, it should be for something special, like the Final Fantasy 16 controller or something like that. Something that's more in line with, or like God of War Ragnarok's controller. Yeah. Not something like I miss that kind of. I don't know why. Like I want to know their design reason why like they would take the color away.
Yeah,
because even Xbox has it. Like I happen to have a Series X controller. Like it has a color.
Yeah, those
why not?
Those Xbox colors. Yeah, of course.
It's beautiful. And Nintendo also did the same thing. Like it's like gray, or whatever. I'm like,
now, boys, what do you think? Now, what controllers? I know this is a PlayStation, but like Xbox controller or DualSense, like which is best?
I'm extremely biased, but I'll go DualSense.
I'm
extremely biased.
Yeah, I would go with the DualSense, but like. It's funny because it's such a good iteration, and I think I still have that PS3 like hate for the the 6-axis and then the DualShock 3. Pardon me. And then when I got to the DualShock 4 and now the DualSense, I'm just like, oh, thank God they kept it. Like, it's so relieving still 2 generations later that they've kept like a good design, because they were so bad with PlayStation 3. And Xbox is an amazing controller because like they've just iterated very little, very by little. Like after the Duke, it's just been like little changes that have like been great. Like they don't really have to fuck around too much, which is nice.
Yeah. I will say this. All right. This is where I get crazy. This is my hottest take ever. I think they're both great.
Yeah.
When people go, oh, asymmetrical or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like the stick placement, it does not matter in the slightest. It just doesn't. If they both feel correct. So like I can go from my Xbox to my PlayStation controller, and the only thing that I have to kind of realign is the dead zones on the analog sticks are different. So like that's the only thing that like the only adjustment I have to make. It's nothing to do with the button placement, because who gives a shit?
Yeah, because I go from the Switch Pro controller to the DualSense, like not like I don't feel a difference with the sticks. Like I know they're different, but like I don't.
The only time I'm like, well, this is kind of fucked up is when I'm on PC.
Yeah.
I'm like, this feels weird. Like I'm playing Baldur's Gate and I'm like, I'm getting carpal tunnel. What is this?
I can't mess around with mouse and keyboard, man. I can't. I'll never be that.
But here's the thing: once you get in the zone, like FPS wise, I'm like, yeah, this is.
I get it for FPS for sure. Yeah.
So many people say that. Yeah,
I get it. Yeah. But like.
I gotta do the Tim Geddes way,
whatever,
you know, like half the how do you do it? He's like this, and then he's like shooting with the mouse. Like I have to do it that way. There has to be some kind of way. Actually, I saw an ad for that funny enough, on Facebook. But yeah,
also really quickly.
Yeah, go ahead. Ooh.
Shout out to this baby boy.
Yeah, that's what I was actually like debating. I was like PSVR 2.
PSVR, like the fact that PlayStation went all in on this crazy future tech kind of thing, and it's still around is.
Yeah, they didn't give up on it, which is nice.
No.
Yeah. RIP. The VR2 was my first VR device I ever owned. I really like I don't play a ton, right? You know? But when I do, like I'm sure y'all saw on Twitter maybe, but I finished the Synapse. That's probably like that's so far been like probably my favorite VR game so far. Yeah, shit was incredible. Awesome, shit was sick, bro. Really good game, like fire game. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
There's no way that the PS5. Sorry, Kev, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, there's no way that the PS5 can't, and with the PSVR 2 can't play Half-Life Alyx, right? That has to come eventually to this.
Eventually, in time,
like
all things through the power of Shu.
Yeah, indeed. Because like I'm like looking at it, I'm like I would Dead Ringer should have been a launch game in my head. Like I don't understand how it wasn't. Like it was to me like it didn't make sense that it wasn't a launch game. But like also Valve's very like, hey man, we're doing our own thing. Buy a Steam Deck. Do this. Like damn it, no, I want this on PlayStation, man.
I hear VR chat could be cool too.
Like, yes.
VR chat.
How's that not home too? That's another thing.
Yeah.
Like, how's they not revamp that somehow, especially in this day and age of metaverse and people talking about
PlayStation Home? Oh,
yeah,
bro, I know.
I do think you're leaving money on the table by not doing a home too. Yeah.
But that's what PlayStation does every once in a while. As much as we're loving on PlayStation, they do some, especially like when they're in the lead. I feel like I won't say it's just them though.
Well,
I feel like most console makers, you know, when 360 was in the lead, you were like, we could do whatever we want. We don't care.
Yeah,
you're gonna watch TV on your Xbox. Here's the Xbox One. It was like, this is not the move. This is not the move.
No.
And PlayStation got humble with 3, and they were like, you know what? Yeah, you can trade games. You can do this, and we're just gonna focus on games. Let's just focus on games right now. God.
And now
30% increase of PS Plus for no reason. No reason.
What happens,
bro.
man. It's just,
no reason, man.
It's like they gotta get their clock cleaned again a little bit, get humble, and be like, oh yeah, you know what? That's not a good idea.
I mean, it's what we talked about in the beginning, man. Like, as much as we love PlayStation, we want Xbox to compete. We want Xbox to make PlayStation nervous, because when PlayStation thinks that their shit don't stink, they'll raise the price of things on you because they know you'll come here anyway. right? You're forced here at that point. So it's important that though we love PlayStation, not to undermine other consoles, right, or other platforms rather, because there are people that are out there that love Xbox as much as we love PlayStation. Same with Nintendo, and they just want, they want to, you know, champion that community. And I feel like oftentimes we kind of get lost in the sauce that is like, well, PlayStation number one, Spider-Man most anticipated game, and Starfield, Halo sucks. It's like, no, I would love to play Halo on my PlayStation. In fact, I would say Halo is probably more important to me as a gamer than most PlayStation exclusives. Right? Like it's way more influential to me as a gamer than most games I've played. Like Halo will always have that place in my heart. It's always important to go, yes, though we prefer our ecosystem, though we prefer our first party lineup, at the end of the day, we're all gaming, and that's the thing that's the most important thing,
Yeah, or like there's so many people, and like you were talking about inflation. I got a Zelda tattoo here. Like me and my wife got Zelda tattoos like the same day by the same artist, and like so many people dismiss like Nintendo for being a weird, which they are, and it's fine. or B, like just a kid's thing, like and obviously that didn't help with certain consoles while we were growing up, like the Wii U or things like that. But like they're just as important, and that's that. We need them as much. We need Super Mario Wonder that release day. We need Starfield. We need we need Halo Infinite. We needed that to hit. Unfortunately, it didn't, but we needed that to hit. We needed all these things to everyone just being like, damn, you're doing good. No, damn, you're doing. Oh, I saw what you did over here. Like, oh, I'm gonna try something over here. Like, Killzone. Like, that'd be cool to see a Killzone soon in the future. Like, doesn't necessarily need to be Gorilla because I want them to keep doing Horizon, but like it'd be nice to see like some other how many studios they have now. Like, take a crack at it. Like, do another Killzone.
I'm on a PlayStation podcast, so I have to shout out, bring back Resistance, please.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I was shocked it hasn't come back in one way, shape, or form. Remake, Blue Point.
Something that keeps every once in a while be like, hey, look, here's a Chimera.
That's true.
Yeah,
hey,
that's true.
A dope weapon that's only in Resistance. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, stop teasing me. Just bring it back
do
in
it.
some way.
Bring back Infamous, like little things like that. And like I have a guarantee in my head, and I think I've mentioned this on other shows where like I know there's gonna be my ideal situation is we have like maybe another 2-3 years without like an Uncharted game, but then we come back, not a reboot, not anything like that, but we follow Cassie. And I think someone mentioned it, like it'd be cool to see like Nadine and Chloe be her Sully and stuff. I'm like, oh my god, that would be amazing.
Yes.
Like
Oh my god, hell yeah.
Yeah, just give us a little time away, make us like want Uncharted back, and then bring us back in with Cassie. Like do something like that, make it a legacy thing. And there's so many like IPs that are not PlayStation. Like look at Mortal Kombat. Like we have Mortal Kombat 1 bringing things back to like square one, and they're doing it in such a fluid way and in a beautiful way, and they give you like these time off where you're like, oh yeah, I kind of want another Mortal Kombat game, like every couple of years, and like, oh yeah, here we go. I would love to see like little things like that. I would love to see Resistance. I would love to see like these IPs that kind of feel like wasted away. I want to see another Astrobot, like that playroom that you get in PlayStation 5. Yeah, I saw the leaks earlier, and I was like, I need another like platformer like that, because I was one of my favorite experiences that year. Like when I got my PS5.
Yeah. It was great. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
It didn't even feel hokey. Like figuring out the DualSense stuff. Like it was just so fun. It was such a beautiful love letter. If anyone out there has like a PlayStation 5 and you somehow did not play this game, please play it. It's such a love letter to PlayStation and its history.
Or just thought like, oh, it's a like baked in like throwaway game, just like show off the features. No. If you love PlayStation, that is like the ultimate game.
Yeah,
it's fucking
bar
awesome.
none. Like it's just like awesome. The fact that like I'll spoil it here. Like the final boss is like the tech demo.
Yeah,
like,
yes.
I know. Like, yes,
that's
please,
sick.
PlayStation, do more of this.
I got the nostalgia like teary, like playing through Astrobot. I was like, oh my god, man! Like, wow, PlayStation is really like has like done so many amazing things in my life that like it really clicked.
I know
Like,
for Kevin, it hit the same way, just walking up to like the Buster Sword and all the action.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my-
and
yeah.
that was before I even played Final Fantasy
Oh,
VII. You know,
sweet. Yeah. Okay.
so oh wait, no, it wasn't.
No,
No,
Oh, wait,
you
yeah,
would
it
have played
was.
remake, yeah, right?
Oh wait, no, you're right. No, I was. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because I remember it because it's a spotlight, like the main
Yes.
menu screen. Yeah, fire. Yeah, no, you're
Yeah.
right. No, I would play, but then yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
I think
definitely.
think of how innovative too, like PlayStation was, or how many people felt like they could innovate, like Hideo with Metal Gear. I'm surprised we've taken this long to not even talk about Metal Gear, man. But like, what a
Oh my
beautiful
God,
series!
yes.
Like
Mhm.
that is, it feels so PlayStation centric. Like I felt weird. I recently like wanted to play Death Stranding, which I've started like a couple months ago. And I'm slowly going through it, but I was like, oh, you know what? I
Great
never
game.
beat 5, and I never beat Peace Walker. I'm like, what's the easiest way to play Peace Walker? I was like, Xbox backwards compatibility is like the best way to do it. So I did it, but I still felt. I know this sounds weird. I felt dirty doing it because I was like, this doesn't
I
feel
get
right.
it.
It's on Xbox. Like this needs to be on PlayStation, which now I'm assuming it will be in Volume 2 of like the Master
Volume
Collection.
2, yeah.
But it just felt like weird. Like it felt weird. I felt like I was cheating on PlayStation by playing Metal Gear on an Xbox console. It felt so strange, but like it was like, oh man, like
There are just some games that
Yeah.
feel that they're not PlayStation exclusive or not anymore, but they are to you. It's actually when we were talking about like the best boss fights on PlayStation. That's our Patreon episode that's coming out. I said, but what if like you didn't play that game on, like, what if it's a multi-platform game, but like it's PlayStation to you? Like, for example, anything from software has to be played on PlayStation because that's where it just feels like it should be played. Because ever since Bloodborne, that's where I played a From Software game. So though like
Some
controllers don't
respect
feel
on
weird to
Demon's
me.
Souls too.
Oh yeah,
That's
Demon
a
Souls as well.
PS3
You're right.
exclusive.
Mhm.
That like though like these controllers feel the same to me when I play a From Software game. All of a sudden, no, it's like this B button is in a circle.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it's like these triggers don't feel right to make an attack or whatever. Like it's weird to me. So like yeah, there are some games that are just like you may not be a PlayStation exclusive, but you're here.
Fighting games
You
a
know?
lot for me, like
Yeah.
Street Fighter, and I know Street Fighter 5 was PlayStation exclusive, but like I think it goes back to Tekken, like playing Tekken 3 that first night with my PlayStation, like it cemented in my head that fighting games are on PlayStation, RPGs for the most part are on PlayStation. Like I obviously look, I have a PC, there's this what's it, Switch is great for RPGs as well, but there's something about like playing like I can't wait to get into Sea of Stars. I'm
It's
doing
so
myself. I was like, I want to
freaking
beat
good.
Messenger first because I know they're in the same universe. So I want to do that before I play it. But like, I know for a fact, like it's on Game Pass, and I know it's on PlayStation Plus Essentials. And I was like, oh no, I'm sorry, no, it's Essential, right?
I think it's extra and
Extra.
premium.
Extra. That's right,
Yeah.
extra and premium. Yeah. I always forget which one's like the tiers.
Yeah,
And
it's stupid.
yeah,
I
and
wish it
it's
was
more
bronze,
expensive.
silver, gold, or
Yeah,
like plat.
name it
Yeah.
after
I don't
trophies.
understand
I
why
was
they
just
do
naming
shit
the
like that.
trophies.
Weird
Yeah.
fucking
Like that's so
PlayStation.
easy. It's so fucking easy.
It's a
What are
slam
you
dunk. Why
doing,
don't you
bro?
do it? Like it's
Yeah.
so dumb. Who's your PR person?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so easy.
Damn it,
dude.
Mark Cerny, stop being weird. But like Sea of Stars feels like it should be played on PlayStation. Because I just remember like even the remakes of like Chrono Trigger or like the re-releases of Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy 1 and 2 and things like that, they feel like PlayStation games. I happen to have, I think for Chaos Bringers, I bought all the Pixel remasters on Switch just because of the idea in my head. I was like, oh, I'll take it, at work. I'll take like an hour and just play or whatever. Or if I'm waiting for my wife, I'll just play a little bit. And then Zelda came out at the same time. So I was like, I'm never going to touch the Switch because that's all her. All right. Well, this was not, I should have bought this on PlayStation. I literally said that out loud. I was like, I should have bought this on PlayStation. She's like, you should have bought this on PlayStation. I was like, I know. But look, I mean, Final Fantasy 16 is like a great point, like that coming out on PlayStation. Like Final Fantasy 7, what, Rebirth? We had that coming out at the beginning of 2024.
Yes, we do.
I got
Yes, we
goosebumps just
do.
thinking about it.
Yeah,
Oh my
we
god.
do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
But it like Final Fantasy feels like a PlayStation thing. And I remember when 13 came out for Xbox 360. And that, I mean, Digital Foundry will tell you that's the better version, that runs better, that plays better, because the cell processor was so weird. to develop for. It was so much easier on 360. But like I own the backwards compatibility version. That's probably what I'll play for Chaos Bringers when it comes time. But I was like, it should be on PlayStation. It just feels right. Oh, you muted, Joe.
Sorry, I've been talking. Yeah, it feels like you're cheating, right?
Yeah.
That's why I can't play in other systems because I can't get trophies.
Yeah.
I know it's dumb. I know
It
it's
makes
dumb,
so sense.
but like,
and achievements came first, and I my head's just trophy.
Yeah, for me, I'm just a little bit different. Where like, if I like started a series on a specific platform, like for me, it'd be the Switch. You know what I'm saying? So I play Messenger on the Switch.
Oh,
so I'm playing Sea of Stars on the Switch.
Oh,
you know,
fair.
So like, it's like stuff like that. Where like, well, actually, it was given to me by a coworker of mine who got the physical copy, but then she somehow got a digital one too. So she gave me the digital copy.
Kickstarter. Yeah. I think my buddy
Kickstarter.
Same thing,
yeah, that. Yeah. So she gave me her Switch digital copy. So that's how I'm playing Sea of Stars. But yeah. So like for me, it just depends on where I started it, and like the other console would be the Switch. So if I didn't start the series on the Switch, then I'm playing on PlayStation for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Like usually that's the case for me as well. But like I played Resident Evil 7 on Xbox, and then but for some reason, like Resident Evil, like ever since has been PlayStation for me. So I'm a new Resident Evil fan, quote unquote. I've bought So like for me, it's like 2, 3, 4, like Village, like they've all been PlayStation because now for some reason playing it on Xbox, though I started it there, seems wrong.
Yeah,
it's weird.
And that's another series that's like that because I remember that came out for the Saturn. I think like Resident Evil 1, and then Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut, which is my first foray into Resident Evil. That came out on PlayStation, and I remember having like seeing my friend play it, and then finally playing 2 and 3. I remember Code Veronica being weird because it was on the Dreamcast. I'm like, I love my Dreamcast, but like this doesn't feel right. It's not. And then the only one that ever felt okay to play that wasn't on PlayStation, because I think it was initially developed for it, but was Resident Evil 4, like the original version of it on GameCube.
Yeah.
Dang. And then it came out for PlayStation. I'm like, I could have waited.
With the chainsaw controller, remember that one?
God, what a horrible control. That's one of the worst peripherals. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Other than the Mad Catz controller, that is the worst controller.
I say amazing because like I a few weeks ago, me and my brother were doing like retro game like hunting, and just holding that controller. It was in like the bin of like nobody wants this, please. This is $2. Please take it. And I'm just holding it. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing. And they knew it when they were making it.
Yep.
That's why this is actually cool.
Or Square. This is a good shout out for peripherals. Square making the slime controller for for Dragon Quest. It's just a slime.
Yes.
Like if I ever bought that, I would just put it on my shelf. Like that's it. I'm never gonna play with it. It looks horrible.
How does this thing even work? Yeah.
Real quick, Joe. God. You need to go back and get that controller if it was only $2.
Why? Is it like $1 million or something?
$250 on eBay.
Ooh, that's a look at Joe's
and the podcast is ended.
When I'm telling you, it was literally in a bin full of just garbage.
If it comes with the box, it's like $1,000 on eBay. That's what it's going for.
Guys, I gotta go. I gotta go right now.
Yeah,
I'm about to make an investment.
I never owned it, but it's a recent one. The I don't know if they even like sold these for real, but those Sonic Xbox controllers that are like fuzzy as shit.
Oh god, that's so
that's
weird.
Abhorrent. That's abhorrent. No, that's not.
Or the
ones with the pizza smell.
Yeah, I was gonna say the pizza.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Why?
They just do weird shit, you know?
Yeah, everyone does weird shit, to be fair. That is fair. That's fair. Kind of to wrap everything up and put a bow on everything, I wanted to go through the PlayStation's life cycle and kind of talk about if we have memories of that generation, like what would you define as not all right, how about this? What is the most definitive game for that console, and what is your favorite game? So we'll start with Kyle. PlayStation 1, do you have a favorite, or what do you assume is the definitive game? That has to be hard.
That's so hard.
Yeah.
I think that the definitive game for PS1, just because it took over, we already mentioned it. It's Final Fantasy VII.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
yeah.
Favorite PS1 game? I think it might be 7 still. Like that is a very special moment for me. And then just me like, here's Final Fantasy, which young Kyle, you don't know you're gonna still be playing in 2023. Like it's wild. So I think those are one and the same for that one.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll come back like 10 minutes later. I'll DM you like, Carlos, no, there's another one.
We got to record again.
That library is massive. So
It
it's
is
hard
insane. Yeah. I want to give a special shout out before we move on to Metal Gear Solid, because that can be argued to be another definitive game for that, just because it was so crazy and innovative and weird. And like I still to this day I remember struggling so hard with the codec, and really just look at the back of the box. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean the back of the box? The back, and I looked down, I was like, holy shit. Like, what do you mean? And like that's the code. Like, fuck, that's so crazy. Oh my god.
Series that is in my shame pile. Like bits and pieces of Metal Gear Solid. So I'm excited for like the collection to find out.
Yeah. You never play MGS?
I played a decent chunk of 2.
Oh, it's fire, guys.
And I tried 3. 3 wasn't really my jam back in the day.
3 is not my favorite.
Yeah. Like I played the demo like on a demo disc of 1 millions of times. But like to play the full thing, and obviously again that boss fight episode that Joe mentioned earlier, I brought to the table the Psycho Mantis fight, because that's just legendary. Absolutely. Just in all the video games, like reading your memory card.
It's that's a cultural impact moment. That's and
to beat Psycho Mantis, you have to plug your controller into the second port. Like, come on, Kojima, what are you doing?
And that's when my argument against the Psycho Mantis fight is that's just reading into your private information. That's some NSA stuff. We don't need to like champion, because it's we're
like, oh hey,
removing freedoms.
Yeah, you didn't beat Symphony Night. Hey, shut up, Psycho Mantis. I'm trying, all right? I'm playing you and the other game at the same time. Fuck you, man. Kev, do you I know for you retroactively have gone back and played like a lot of stuff through like the cloud service and stuff, and like on PlayStation stores. Would you define a specific PlayStation 1 game as a definitive one? And
I think the definitive, honestly, is what you two said. Like, that'd be either FF7 or Metal Gear, which I played both of those, but in my adult years. Same for PS2 as well. Like, I'll like, I have answers for sure for PS3 and onwards. You know what I'm saying? But PS1, PS2, a little bit too young there, if I'm being completely honest with you. But damn, it's hard to pick between either Metal Gear Solid or FF7. Like, that's a really hard.
There's no wrong answer. That's the crazy thing.
That's a very hard one too. Yeah, very hard one. Like, but in my heart, of course, I gotta say FF7. So we gotta give it up. But big ups to Metal Gear Solid, of course, fire game.
I too am a fake PlayStation fan.
There you go.
Metal Gear Solid, I never played. Well, let me walk it back a bit. Okay?
I have a Let's Play series for Trophy Room.
Now, I mean,
me and Kevin will commentate while you guys play.
I also played it.
Might happen.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I was playing.
So I was I remember like I put this out on Twitter. I'm like, my guilty thing is like I've never really gotten into Metal Gear. It's like, how could you run a PlayStation show and you never got into Metal Gear? Like, I was 9 when Metal Gear Solid 2 came out. I was 8 years old.
Yeah, it's
right?
hard to get in.
Political espionage wasn't it for Joseph. Okay. I didn't know the definition of just like Bill Clinton did. Okay. I had no idea.
I want to go guns blazing. What are you talking about?
Exactly. I want to stomp on some Goombas. I'm 8 years old. I don't know how to defuse a bomb or terrorism. I'm 8.
What's waterboarding? What?
I could have been a good kid. Anyway. But Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater was the first one I tried. because I was like, oh, you have to like eat food, like you gotta drink water, like this is really cool. An hour in, I have ADHD. I just dipped. I got bored. And then Metal Gear Solid 4 came out. And that was my brother's game. So I would just watch him, and I thought it was cool as shit. Like, I really dug that game. Yeah. But I just watched it. And then, like, Metal Gear Solid, like, Acids, you know, like the PSP stuff, that was also my brother's jam. It was never mine. So Metal Gear is actually more attuned with my brother than myself. Even Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain, I tried to get into, couldn't for some reason. I think it's like the ranking of. Yeah, I know. I think it's the ranking in every level. I'm a perfectionist, so if I don't get like the triple S,
that's rough.
I get upset. Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 5, man. Fuck, man.
There's some couple of levels that I was just gunning through. I'm like, I just want to fucking finish. I got the chicken hat. I'm just running through.
But that said, it is a series that I can't wait to get into because Death Stranding is the first Kojima joint that I fell in love with.
Hell yeah.
That man's mind. Yeah, it's game's incredible. So
yeah. A part of me wants to be like, as much as I love FF7, right? But like Metal Gear Solid is just so fucking cool. It's the coolest shit ever. Like, it's the coolest shit ever. You know?
It really is. It's so
cool, man. It's so good.
Especially like I grew up loving like Bond movies and seeing someone. So cool. It is before like 24 too, so like having someone who was like almost like anti-Bond, you know, like he's just a badass, stoic, like very not like ladies' man, though, you know, him and Meryl, but like he's just so badass and rough around the edges. This is like all before like Jason Bourne's and everything like that was like big on like entertainment space. It was a refreshing breath of air. Like I grew up with Bond as a kid, like. So it was like, oh, this is different. I like this. It's a little dirtier. Like I like this a little more. I also got to meet Liquid Snake once. Cam Clark,
that's hype. That's hype.
Which the nicest old man. Like I was in tears. Like he had like, cause I was like, oh my god, dude, you're Leonardo when I was growing up as Ninja Turtles, and then I got old enough and you were Liquid Snake, and then he was,
oh, that's cool.
And he was like Solid Snake. I was like, oh my god. Nice. I was like freaking out.
Hell yeah.
And I got this photo. Like I think my wife took it. I'm not okay. Like you can see it in my face. Like I'm really not okay. He's like rubbing my shoulder like an old grandpa. I was like, oh my god, I needed this in my life.
Man,
that's awesome.
I always tell my friends like, yo, if you ever get me a cameo, right? Like, listen, Christopher Judge, don't, you know, you can throw A1 at me. David Hayter, please. Like, please, bro. Please. Like there's nothing like I'm obsessed with, you know, it's incredible. Like I love hearing him say any line ever.
God,
so good, bro.
He's so good. And
so fucking
great
so
writer
cool,
of movies too.
So cool, man.
Watchmen? He wrote Watchmen. What the fuck?
Did he really?
Yeah, he wrote like the screenplay for the movie version and X-Men 1.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. And if you're a weird anime fan like I am, there's an anime adaptation of The Guyver, which is like he's in part 2. He's the star of Guyver 2, Bio Boosted Armor.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I watched it as a kid, and then I was like, "Oh, this is Metal Gear game. This guy sounds familiar."
Like, bro, hearing him in Synapse, just like fuck. He never gets old. It's so good. So good. Like I love so good.
So good. I wanted to move on, and I would say, by the way, Final Fantasy 7. I would have to say, my favorite game would be 9, with Metal Gear being a solid like runner up, like a 1A for favorite game.
Did there.
But yeah,
did there.
But it's hard to argue with Final Fantasy 7 just having that culture. Jesus Christ! I mean, not to keep tooting my own horn on my own channel, but like I have a Final Fantasy podcast now. You know, like I didn't think of that as a kid that I would have a Final Fantasy podcast. But I wanted to move on. We'll start with Joe on this one. PlayStation 2. What would you say is the definitive game, and what is your favorite?
Man, you give me the one with the biggest library. It means like for me, it is Ratchet and Clank. Like that is the first thing I think of PS2 for me is Ratchet, because that's where my preteen brain was. was like, I still love platformers, but the shooty bang bang stuff is great, and all the guns are like wacky and crazy. Like, yeah, Ratchet and Clank for me, Up Your Arsenal again is the GOAT. So that's what I would say for PS2. But again, that library is so intensive. You know, like you could pick a whole bunch of them, right? Like God of War, and like you'd be like, yep, that's definitely it. So
well, earlier you did say San Andreas was your most played.
True. I mean, again, it's just the library's so nuts.
Yeah,
you know,
it's insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane. The games you're able to play on that console, how long it lasted, how culturally impactful it was. Like, it's still the highest selling PlayStation console still to date, right? Or is 5 finally?
Yeah. No,
PS2,
no. PS2's it's probably gonna stay that way.
It's like over 150, right?
Yeah. Like the Switch might sell more. Yeah, might. But
because what, they're at 120, they need to close the gap with 30.
They'll probably end up doing it, or again,
with the Pro,
close.
I could see it. Yeah, with the Pro, if they call it like Switch Pro and they like keep the Switch moniker, ecosystem, I think that they could probably do it.
Yeah,
probably.
That's good. Kev, I know because it was too much. What would you say for PS2, especially because you've done a lot of retroactive stuff?
Yeah, PS2. I want to say Up Your Arsenal, of course. Gotta give love to Ratchet and Clank. You know what I'm saying? It might just be that, but I can't talk about PS2 without bringing up again not exclusives, but Need for Speed Underground 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2, especially.
Yes,
Battlefront, like real. We know.
Battlefront 2.
If you was there, you know what? It's gotta be Battlefront 2. Nah.
Because you got to be goddamn Yoda and like Darth Maul. Like
we know what's going down.
You get the network adapter in the back.
Star Wars podcast, you and me.
Let's fucking go, man.
Let's do
it, man. Galactic Conquest, man. Let's get it, man.
I'll start with Ahsoka episode 4. Let's do it.
Great place to start.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
A little aside, real quick. I just got confirmation earlier today, because I'm going on a trip with my brother-in-law and his like friend and stuff. My first time like away from like my family. It's really weird. But I'm going to Hollywood Studios in Orlando, and I'm going to Galaxy's Edge, and I'm going to Batu.
Dude, like I want to go so bad, bro.
We already got reservations for the Cantina. I cannot wait, man.
Yeah. I really do feel like once I see that Falcon, like I think I'm gonna really like tear up.
I'm gonna cry.
I think that's when I'm gonna break.
Sitting in this cockpit, I think I'm gonna have a really hard time.
My legs shaking just thinking about seeing the Falcon and what I would do.
When I see that, I'm gonna break real hard when I see that Falcon for sure. God,
what a magical place!
Star Wars, man.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Kyle, PS2 definitive favorite.
Oh, this is tough because like I want to go Dragon Quest 8. I want to go Rogue Legacy, not Rogue Legacy, Rogue Galaxy.
Level 5 had a lot of really good RPGs on that.
Really good. Obviously, Guitar Hero.
Of course. Absolutely.
Gigantic. GTA, Final Fantasy X, another great one. Like, just give me a Blitzball only game, please, for the love of God. I think my favorite might have to be the original God of War.
Okay.
I think it might have to be. The reason why I'm not going 2 is because that actually came out while 3 was out. PS3 was out. Like, it was right before PS3 came out.
Yeah, I remember that. I do.
I played 2 on PS3 because PlayStation consoles were backwards compatible.
Yeah. At least that first iteration. Oh.
Yeah.
God of War 2 was the one, though. Goddamn.
Shout out to Bully as well. Bully was great.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, I think I've got to go with not San Andreas. I love San Andreas. Vice City holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Fair.
But like just the neon colors. Like I've never the furthest I went when I was a kid, like vacation wise, was Pennsylvania and Amish country. And boy, Vice City blew my mind.
Yeah.
Someplace with bright lights and palm trees. What is this?
That feels like I would say to me that feels like the definitive game of PlayStation 2 in my opinion, because it was just that was that cultural zeitgeist. Everyone, because 3, I mean, it rides the back of 3, right? Like you can't have Vice City without Grand Theft Auto 3 on the PlayStation 2, but it just took everything that 3 was and just made it perfect. It was like the perfect amount of seasoning. Even so, when you get to San Andreas, you get even more so of that like special sauce that even makes it even better. But there's something about Vice City specifically. That was the one I've only like I've messed around with a lot of GTAs and I do a lot, but I never complete the story. That's the only one I've ever completed the story for, and I was so happy to do it. It was so fun. Ray Liotta, oh my god, maybe rest in peace. Like he was so good in it.
Rip the goat.
Oh my god, it felt special, especially having Ray Liotta. You know what I mean? Because he was such I guess for him it might have been like around like a low point for him acting. Was like I'm doing a video game, like I need money, you know, whatever. But like his performance is so good, and to me, as like a teenager, being like, oh my god, yo, they got this big actor doing a video game.
Got the guy from Heat in here.
Yeah,
what's
like,
going
holy
on?
Shit, Casino? Wait, what?
Yeah,
yeah, like it was crazy. But that would be my definitive game for PSU. My favorite. I'm gonna have to. Ooh, wow! In my head, I'm gonna say it out loud. Metal Gear Solid 2. Yeah, that's weird. I didn't expect to say that. That was kind of crazy. Like it just came to me. I have such like vivid memories of playing that. I got that for Christmas, whatever year that came out, and playing that. And like, there's a New Year's party at my house or something, or we were gonna leave to like my aunt's house to do it. And I was like, I'm butt naked as Raiden. You know, riding like just running. I was like, I need to know what happens. She's like, just stop it. I'm like, I can't stop it right now. You don't understand.
Oh, that's near the end of the game too.
Yeah,
yeah, that's mad close to the end of the game.
I was like, you don't understand. He's telling me to turn. I actually turned off my console. Like I thought, like, yeah. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I restarted it. I was like, oh Jesus Christ. Like that was such a crazy experience. I mean, there's other like beautiful games that are on there, like you mentioned, Final Fantasy, 10, 12, which I got
Colossus shout out.
Shadow of the Colossus, Eco.
I do also like shout out to EA Big.
Oh,
NBA Street, SSX.
Yes. Come on.
Def Jam.
NBA Street was so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, I should have brought
so many
Tony
good
Hawk
games.
for PS1. Tony Hawk.
Oh, that's a
my
great
well
definitive.
definitive.
Yeah.
Those Def Jam games, man, are the like almost like the best wrestling games we've gotten in a long time.
Yeah, and like Here Comes the Pain. Is up there as well.
Yeah, just so many like vivid memories. That's so funny that MGS2 was like the one that clicked for me. I was like, oh, I thought it would be a Final Fantasy. Okay, cool. Now we're getting Kev's bread and butter. PlayStation 3, definitive, and what is your favorite?
I think everyone's definitive is probably gonna be the same. I think we're all gonna say Last of Us, right?
Yeah, I think it's
that's what I would say is the like cream of the crop, or Uncharted 2. But I think a little bit more so Last of Us. I think is the consensus. That? Like, I mean, I think so. I think so. But my favorite PS3 game. Gotta give a few shout outs, of course. My beloved Black Ops 1.
That's a good one.
You gotta put respect on Modern Warfare 2. Nothing like it, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta put respect on it. But for me, step between I like the sequel better mechanically, right? Like I think the sequel to this franchise, I think, is overall a better game from a gameplay perspective, and just overall, I just like what they did with the second game. But for me, there was nothing like Infamous 1. Nothing like I loved Infamous. My PSN avatar is Cole McGrath forever. That's never changing. Always will be Cole McGrath, my boy. I just loved like that. Those like cutscenes that were very comic book esque, and it was just about this bike courier that has this strange package, and it pulls up, and like, did he do this? Like, is it he? Like, is it his fault? It gives him powers. Yeah, Kessler, and like I don't want to. I don't want to spoil that.
You somehow did not play that. Yo, play that. That twist is crazy.
Kessler is like the coolest shit. Like I love Infamous. I love Infamous very, very dearly. So that's probably mine overall. But I was a COD fanboy back in the PS3 days. So big shout out to the Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 2 for sure.
Yeah.
So I think we have like a different answer for definitive game from Joe. So Joe,
Yeah,
what,
I
what
guess
is your
so. I guess so. I
what's
think
your
it'd be Last of
definitive
Us.
PS3 game?
I was
And your
fucking with
favorite?
you guys. The definitive game is The Last of
Oh.
Us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was gonna say,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, there you
Honestly,
go.
not what I thought you would have picked.
What you thought?
Huh?
What do you think?
Red Dead Redemption.
That's a good one.
really good pick.
That's a really
Here's the
good
thing,
pick.
Thought you were
though.
gonna pick.
That's a very good pick.
Red Dead Redemption. I would say Red Dead Redemption would be that, but that was my last 360 game.
I was gonna say now
Like,
that I said
hey-
yeah, that's
Oh.
top 360 probably.
That and Halo Reach is like that. I think that's truly like
you
the
know what's funny?
last.
That kind of feels weird.
360
That
games
feels
I
like one of the specifically at least Red Dead Redemption 1 feels like a 360 game. You know how we were talking earlier about games that feel like PlayStation.
Yeah.
Something. That feels like a 360 game. I don't know why. Just set up
When
maybe
you
the
imagine
marketing. Yeah.
It's the green box with it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. So yeah, no, definitive is The Last of Us. I think that just it changed the way PlayStation looked at how they wanted their first parties to be.
Absolutely.
So 100% The Last of Us. It transcends. I mean, watching the show week in, week out, my mom's like, so what's gonna happen next? Like, what's gonna be the thing? You
Mhm.
know this. And so like that, like it's truly one of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah, I've been pulled aside
Um,
multiple times at my job to be like, yo,
Yeah.
you played both 1 and 2. What's next? I need to know. I'm like, bro, you are not ready for part 2.
You're
Yeah.
not ready for
Oh
it.
my god. The
That show's about to lose some viewership. You
that's
know what I
what I'm
mean?
saying.
I can't wait.
No,
Can't wait.
I had a coworker watch the show, played part 1, the remake on PS5 part 1.
Okay.
And then I implored him, no, go into part 2. And like it's a lot. It's a lot. It's very divisive. I think it's a masterpiece, but
Mhm.
go ahead, play it.
Yeah.
Took him a few days, whatever. Next time we worked, he straight says, Kevin, come here. He shakes my hand. Shakes my hand. It's like, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Like I was blown away. He's like, so thank you. I
Wow.
was like, damn, bro. And then
Yep.
shake my hand. He's like a
Dude, my brother,
he's
who
like a
I thought would
42-year-old.
yeah, my brother, who I thought would hate Last of Us Part 2, hate it because of the golfing. And I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna like like I love part 2, but you're gonna think it's like woke. And I like literally like he gets to the scene and he's just like, I'm like, so how do you like it? Like, what are your thoughts? And he's just like, it made sense. Joel's the bad guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've never been more
smart
proud of you in
man.
my
Smart
I've never
man.
more proud of my
Yep.
goddamn life. I'm like, holy crap.
Honestly, that might be one of my favorite conversations just to have in general.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
Mhm.
I get it. He's a bad guy.
Mhm.
I understand where he's coming from.
Hell, if you ask
Exactly.
him in the moment, he'd be
Yeah.
like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, I
Yeah.
fucked up. I fucked up a lot of times in my life.
My niece is
Yeah.
in Ellie's, spot in that game. I'm just gonna let her go. No,
No.
absolutely not. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Though I would say, like, I mean, Last of Us is also my favorite, but I would say that I gotta give the silver medal also to Uncharted 2, because that without
Respect.
Uncharted 2, that I'm not here. So
Very true.
Uncharted 2 for sure.
Yeah. Kyle.
Yeah, my definitive favorite is also The Last of Us. I mean, I'm
Fire.
not gonna sit here and not say it's my favorite game of all time. But PS3 holds so many amazing memories for me, and like Infamous for sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I personally like the second one a little bit more. I've
I-
tried to go.
I agree.
tried
I
to go
don't
back
think
and
there's
play
anything
one
wrong.
recently.
Yeah.
It's a better
Boy.
game. I
Yeah.
just love
Yeah,
Infamous 1. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shout out to Arkham City.
Fire.
That is a great Batman story. God of War 3.
Fire.
Mm-hmm.
Fire.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh my god, I'm blanking on
God War Ascension, right? I know you're gonna say that.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm.
although that introduced me to like Troy Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I played
Yep.
Ascension, I finally realized like I know that voice. Who is he? And then I looked it up, like, and this is like honest to go back earlier when you guys were talking about like when you first discovered Beyond, like it was around here, similar to me. Although it wasn't the Blackout, I was looking for collectible guides for The Last of Us for the Firefly pendants.
Oh.
And I
Fire.
stumbled across like the IGN guide, and then I found, because again, old guy here, didn't know what a podcast was, had no idea.
You saying?
And I was like, wait, hold on, these two guys just talk PlayStation every week. Wait a second. and then just kind of like fell in love. And uh, I'm gonna try not to cry here. I'm an emotional boy, but like without this era of PS3 and discovering Beyond, I'm not here. I don't know Carlos. I don't know Kevin. I don't know Joe. I don't know all these people I consider family. I'm not on here and creating content and talk about a hobby I love. I'd be the shy kid just playing games, keeping it to myself. Like, it's wild. Putting on fucking showcases.
I was about to
like,
say, dude, like one of the best
Oh my
like gaming
God.
showcases ever. And I'm not too because we're friends.
No,
I
yeah, I know.
legitimately like you and
Yeah.
Mike and Kelsey have done something incredible in the industry, and it's so refreshing to see. And you guys know what you're doing. You guys are doing it better than most big companies are doing it.
Thank you. I appreciate
And
that. And that's all because
yeah,
I was trying to find a Firefly pendant.
it's
and
crazy.
I stumbled upon Greg and Colin talking about PlayStation, and my life is forever changed from this era of PlayStation. And like, I can probably rattle off 20 other games, and be like, they're also my favorite. But like, Mass Effect 2, played it here on PlayStation.
So good.
Like, I tie that to PlayStation. Like, that's iconic for me. Rock Band, are you kidding me? The thousands of hours of me drumming away. There's a reason why my right calf is bigger than my left calf, because I played the drums. And I was playing on expert. Like, my right calf is strong as hell because of that. Like,
I get it. There's a reason why my left hand has a stronger grip than my right.
Absolutely. Oh, you're a lefty? Oh, that's cool.
Not Rock Band, huh? Gotcha.
No,
He's not strumming a guitar.
no. I'm
Yeah,
holding the
good.
mouse with the right hand. Yeah.
PS3 is pretty great.
Can we get a? I would like to give a special shout out to the 2009 PlayStation 3 Slim. I think that's one of the most gorgeous consoles.
It really
ever.
is. Yeah. That's the one I got.
It's perfect. It's
then they fucked it up with the
then the worst
one.
fucking shit. The worst PS3 Super Slim.
It looks like a George Foreman grill.
It's so bad. It's so nasty.
So
it's so ugly. It's so ugly, man.
Yeah.
Also, I just genuinely, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't have genuine moments. Like Kyle's having a real genuine,
I'm like tearing up. We're like celebrating his win.
I'm like, damn, you're right.
I'll jerk it off.
Oh man. Yeah,
also,
for me,
shout out to BioShock Infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Infinite.
Have not played BioShock yet.
Oh.
Dude,
I think you like 1, 2, Infinite.
I know. I need to.
You're gonna love 1, dude.
I think I started 1 and then I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened on that. But no, I have the remasters on my account. Like it's
that's a good series, man. That's a fun series. For me, I agree with you guys. Definitive would have to be The Last of Us. Like before children, that beginning of that game made me cry. The ending of that game, and mind you, no children whatsoever. And I've seen people like I remember Greg infamously saying, texting Neil Druckmann saying, "Hey, so Joel's the bad guy, right?" And which it's not wrong, but like he was like, "No, why would you like destroy the world just for this one person?" Like, and I'm sure that might change now, but at the time, even with no children, man, like he did it, and I remember crying, and that was one of the first times I cried in a video game. And I remember my wife looking at me, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Damn, this is really like fucked up." It was like, did he just? I was like, he killed everybody to save her, and she's like, "No kids," and she was like, "Yeah, I get it." And I wouldn't think that 10 years later, the TV version, both of us knowing what's about to happen, and Sarah's death is still as impactful to this day. And I was like, and it's somehow worse now because I have kids, and I'm just sitting there and I'm just fucking losing it, and I'm just like ugly crying, and I'm like, fuck, The Last of Us is amazing. Like, this is such a touchstone, such a arguably for at least for me, one of the most important games that has ever been created. Because that's just something. It is transcendent games in a sense, and that was when, thank God, the adaptation's fucking amazing. Because that's something I like. There's people I know for a fact cannot, will not, or just don't have the ability to play video games anymore, and they're like, I want to experience these stories. And The Last of Us being as good, and then even doing some stuff that's different, like Bill and Frank.
Speaking of, the letter to Joel was written on August 29th of 2023.
That's right.
Yeah,
so 2 days ago in real time. That's nuts.
Fire.
Yeah, it just passed away 2 days ago. That change, it surprised me, was still impactful. Like, it was great. It was great coming into work that Monday and being like, oh, so that's what happens in the game? Like, fucking no, dude. Like, none of that happens. She's like, are you angry? I was like, no, that was incredible. Like, what? Like, to still have surprises from that team and just the beauty of that is The Last of Us and this destroyed, just fucked up world. It's so beautiful at the same time. Jesus Christ. Favorite? Oh man, favorite. You know what's funny is we've said too, and it's easy to say too. I love Uncharted 3 so much. I think that's such a
Uncharted 3. Shout out to Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
Great game.
Great game. I think that's what was it? Greg put 9.5.
Yeah,
and that's a 10. I put both of them as 10. I don't think it's wrong to put Uncharted 3 as a 10. I would just raise the score of 2. But Kev, you work at IJ. You can change it now, right? You can change Greg.
Yeah, you can.
I'm on that. I'm on.
Yeah,
I got you.
But that is just such a cultural thing, man. Like seeing Nate's story play across those three games, and him getting his shit together, and almost and being with Elena at the end, and spoilers, but it's been around. It's fine. And just the highs and lows of that game, man, it's just a wonderful piece of media. I had so much fun. I love that pulpy action stuff too, man. It's so great. Also, it's funny we haven't talked about this because Kevin's also on a Kingdom Hearts podcast, and I know me and him love it.
Shit! Right? See,
Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. What a great game.
Great game.
Too bad that series is too over,
No,
don't
say
that. He's got a couple more games to play. God damn it.
It's too much. It's too much. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are fantastic.
This one, it's recoded. I hear it's really bad. So
yeah, that's what I hear too. I'm very interested to watch your episode with you guys.
I heard it was really bad.
Very likely quickly to amend my answer for favorite PS3 game.
Oh, okay.
I do still think Last of Us is the definitive end favorite, but it's probably like 51% to like 49 with this other one. Thank you, Joe. I couldn't do math.
I got you. I was like
49.
I might be dyslexic, but I got you.
I think it came out. Now I gotta look this up because it's gonna drive me nuts. I think it came out after or no. Yeah, after The Last of Us or before, I can't remember.
I know it is.
But it's a game that gave me a reason as to why I want to look forward for narrative games.
Which one?
More than it came before.
I know it is.
Shout out to Telltale's Walking Dead.
Oh, yeah.
That just all of Telltale games from that point forward. But again, that game, when I finally ended up playing it, like my oldest niece was born, and like she's like the spitting image of Clem.
Oh.
And the ending of that first game, talk about bawling with Last of Us. I was inconsolable at the end of season 1, sitting down here until maybe 2:00 in the morning, just sobbing uncontrollably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is a special ass game.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like Hall of Fame, put on Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
that's an amazing.
I was hollow inside.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, and Last of Us is another one too. Of like, I remember my friend Ruben beat it first. He's like, Joe, I cried. I'm like, you cried at a video game? He's like, trust me when you get there. And I'm like, and I just like at the end, I'm like a single tear. I'm like, fuck, he's right. Like, and Walking Dead's the same. Where I'm just like I'm just.
I still haven't brought myself to finish Clem's story. I don't know if I can.
Yeah,
I have no idea what happens. It's makes me sad. I don't know.
There's something special about her journey, that specific game too. Like, God, what a great game. So
your hair short.
Yeah. So now moving on to our bread and butter, the most I think we've played to PlayStation 4. I'll go with Kevin again. Let's start with definitive and favorite.
The definitive, no question, obviously, it's got to be God of War 2018. I would say this time, yes. I know there is The Last of Us Part 2, right? Where like I think that's a literally a fucking like literally a masterpiece, you know, that ass. But like I just will never forget like going on this very simple stakes journey of just Kratos in a new lands with a son, and we're gonna spread your mother's ashes atop the highest peak in the realm, you know? And like getting introduced to this and like seeing our old legendary Kratos like soften up a little bit and like become more of something that it I just think it's just like a really like great at its core. Like you can say it's great at, you know, teaching Norse mythology, which is also what it is, right? Like a great combat system, a great this and that, third, all that, right? But like at its core, I really think that God of War like is the ultimate like father and son story. You know, I really do
100%.
think it's about a son like beginning to unravel and like realize his potential, you know, whether it be for good or for bad, those annoying parts in God of War we all remember, you know what I'm saying, with Atreus. But it's also about Kratos, I feel, just unfolding into like, yes, I am a god, but I started as a man, you know, and like I am still immortal, you know, and like, well, what does that mean, right? So I think definitely God of War, but my favorite, my favorite might be a hot take, and like I don't know how. Yeah, it might be a hot take for my
if it's
favorite.
yours.
No
It's
wrong answer here.
Yeah,
low key,
exactly.
yeah,
So many.
low key. Like, listen, like Uncharted 4 is like really
Yeah.
important to me. Like, yo,
Yeah.
like I get choked up. I get choked up. I just get so choked up when I last played Uncharted 4. Seeing that picture of Sully, Nate, and Elena on the boat dock away from Uncharted 1, and like that's where they end Uncharted 4. Like, yo, like, and the mute, bro. Nothing ever like that's one of like my favorite like endings of anything ever. And like
seeing Cassie,
I hope and pray, and like and like I just hope and pray that like we don't like have Nate too involved, because like that's it. Like, please, like that.
I want his story to be done.
Yeah, like
doesn't need to be death. It could just be retirement.
Yeah.
Like she should have her
it could be
own
retirement.
agency.
Like,
He's got a bum knee.
Yeah, like I don't want him to be dead necessarily, or like but I just don't want him too involved in this. Like I really do just want it to be with Cassie, and like I have like a head like I would love if Uncharted 4 is, I mean Uncharted 5 is almost like Cassie kind of like going over like Nate's history, right? And like there's little things that like that all connected them. And so it's this whole thing of like going back and learning more about her father and this whole other life that he lived, you know, before she was born, and going to Shangri-La and like going to like other, and like going back through the series a little bit, not like too going over old, like not like an MGS4 type of thing where like
I was gonna say MGS4 is
overkill.
Good,
yeah, like not too overkill like MGS4, but like something of like she's going after like these past artifacts that like, you know, Nate, you know, came in contact with or something like that. But like, yeah, I think there's probably gonna be more games that like I'm like, yeah, Death Stranding is fucking incredible. Like one of the best worlds that I've ever experienced, you know. But I think what definitely kicks to me is definitely Uncharted 4. Like I just love that. It's not perfect. It's not perfect game. It's not perfect, but damn that ending, man.
But it's something about that game is so special, because especially from jump, like when you meet Sam again and they're catching up, and you have the option of like, well, tell me what you've been up to, and you could choose to start the story. Uncharted 1, 2,
most important to you.
And I mean, I wish they showed a little more love to Golden Abyss.
Facts.
Speak
on it.
But yeah, there's something special about
forgotten.
You motherfucker.
God damn it.
Now you better play that game.
God damn it, yeah.
Played it. I forgot all about it.
Like going to
so
business
good, man. But then getting that ending with Cassie and seeing that she's just a smart ass like Nate, and she's so smart like Elena, and it's like, wow, like she's such a beautiful fusion of them two. It's like it's just such a happy ending. He's calm, he's restful. It's
So
like he's
good.
earned it. Like, oh my god, it's such a great ending.
He married the wrong girl.
Damn, man.
Damn.
Should have been Chloe.
Should it?
Liz,
Should
man.
I be
She's
Chloe?
fun, but
Chloe
she
is
the
a
one.
babe.
No, hey, Chloe's fun. You know, like let's
Yeah.
not front. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
respectfully.
like she's no Elena. I don't know if she's
Yeah,
Elena.
something about Lena. Yeah,
Like, is she gonna have my back for real? You know?
Chloe's not, practicing Crash Bandicoot runs.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm.
That's true.
that's true.
That's true. She ain't never hold a
Yeah.
PS1 controller. Never happened.
She's too busy. She's too busy partying up.
He's a baddie.
Joe, what's your definitive PS4 game and your favorite PS4 game?
Kyle, you want to take this one away? You want to tell?
One of the greatest games of the generation from
That's right.
Software's Bloodborne.
Of course.
yeah.
That's
I know
right.
this for Joe.
Yeah, it's been 3,082 days.
God
We
damn.
put respect on the king's name. That is Bloodborne. Is my okay? Real talk. It's tied with my favorite game of all time. Like it's like a 3-way tie. Elden Ring is the best game ever made, and it is on
Damn.
PS4. But I think of Elden Ring as a PS5 game because I played it there. So like, I'm not counting the cross-gen games.
Mhm.
So Ragnarok, as much as you are the greatest sequel I've ever played,
Facts.
you're not on here. Definitive PlayStation 4 game, the one you need to play. It is God of War 2018. It is a near perfect game. There's some flaws with it for sure, like not enough variety in enemies / bosses. Fair.
Mhm.
That narrative is. We talk about The Last of Us being like, yeah, I'm gonna yawn because this is a long podcast and now it's past my bedtime. But we talk about The Last of Us being like important for narrative. God of War is legitimately the greatest story that PlayStation has cooked up. There is, and I'm saying that knowing how good The Last of Us is, right? That story of just, it's not, the beauty of God of War 2018 is the world isn't ending. It is a really simple story, and it's very small and confined. And as it starts to veil itself to you as the story goes on, then you start to see there's some bigger stakes. There's some characters that may or may not have made a mistake along the way. The villains there's a lot more humanity to them than you first realize. You can kind of empathize with each and every character so well. And that is another ending where, they talk about Atreus and setting up the sequel so perfectly, of showing you how the sequel is supposed to play out right in front of you.
Fire.
Incredible. Like, I was in awe. I wasn't like, it's not one of those, the ugly cries. I was just in awe of this journey that I just took. So God of War 2018 is a masterpiece. It is one of my favorite games of all time. That being said, my favorite game is Bloodborne. Without Bloodborne, who am I? Really? Before From Software, I was a huge Blizzard fan. Like, huge. And From Software, it's just surpassed that in every way possible for me. Like, every From Software game, I'm just trying to absorb myself in the world, in the lore, in each kind of like codex that you find, each character that you meet. And at the same exact time, it offers a level of gameplay that still keeps setting the bar for other action role-playing games to follow suit. So Bloodborne, for me, even at its 30 FPS and sometimes dips when you're in old Yarnum, is still my favorite game of that generation. It's my happy place. I can literally go to it right now and just know where everything is, and my brain just turns off and nothing else matters. I'm just gonna go beat Father Gascoigne. Second, that is Ghost of Tsushima.
Fire.
As the honorable mention, it is my favorite open world game. It is so damn good. So damn good. Play Ghost of Tsushima.
Hell yeah, man. Oh yeah, Kyle.
I can't play.
Oh yeah, good.
I can't play Bloodborne at 30. I'm sorry, Joe. I can't do it.
Yeah, that's a running joke on PlayStation Source's Discord.
I can't do it. I can't.
Christian
do it.
has called him out on it. Owen has
can't
called
do
you
it.
out on it. Yeah,
You
I
could
can't do it.
he's like playing Ratchet and Clank on live stream. It was like, so Bloodborne. He's like, come on, man. We're playing Ratchet and Clank, obviously. Like that's actually something Owen has done.
No,
Shout out to Owen.
That's quote.
Yeah.
That's a dead ass quote. That's a dead ass quote.
Shout out to Owen. I love him.
Big ups to
Kyle,
Owen.
PS4 definitive favorite.
I'm sitting here while you're all are talking, and like, I have 6 favorite games.
Yeah,
from here that I
there's a
can't
lot.
pick.
Right?
There's
I
lots to
will
choose.
agree, though. I do think God of War 2018 is the definitive game.
Yeah.
For
And with
all
that,
the
I will
reasons-
agree with that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for all the reasons mentioned,
Mhm.
add into the fact that like, and I maybe this has happened previously, who knows, but the fact it's one-shot camera
God damn, man.
from beginning
Fuck.
to end.
Mhm.
Like, you are with Kratos the entire journey. There's no like cutscene and then you see him running across the street to like another building in other games. Or,
Yeah.
like time is passing in between. No, you're with Kratos the entire way. You experience every emotion along that journey. You're in it every single second. And I think that is such a marvel just for video game making in general that it needs to be recognized for sure. And yeah, the story combat is all incredible. Favorite, again, it's the 1B to God of War 1A. It's Last of Us Part 2. I'm with Kev. It's a masterpiece in every way.
Masterpiece.
I had a list of every time I cried. I think I was up to
Mhm.
like 29, 30 times in that game. That game goes places. It's a beautiful story in a weird way. I love that game so much. But like, shout out to Horizon.
Absolutely.
So
Gorilla
good.
knocked it out of the park. FF7 remake, a
Let's
retelling
really
of
fucking
the
talk
original.
about it.
Come on,
Let's really talk about it.
and like,
Damn, is that my damn?
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Like you said
no,
it. You evoked
I gotta
the
run
name.
it back. Nah, I got it. Nah,
Yeah.
yeah, no. I gotta, listen, man. Listen. Big ups to Drive Forward, but nah, I gotta run that back. I forgot. I don't know why. I think of it more like a PS5 game. It's
No,
absolutely
it's
not.
fair.
It's just, yeah, no. I gotta run that back.
Yeah. No,
I
that's
gotta
fair.
run that back. Damn, why did I
fair.
forget about remake? What the fuck wrong?
There's
with
so
me?
many good
No,
games.
it happens.
There's
There's so
so
many.
many good games. I'm gonna mention.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Absolutely.
Spider-Man.
Mhm.
I just played it. Great game.
It's seriously, the PS4 generation is the best. Like
Mhm.
we
And,
could
and,
just
like honestly,
it's amazing.
not a first-party game, but legit a top 5 favorite game of all time for me is Control.
Oh,
My first Remedy game.
Shout out to Control.
Is fucking fire.
Control is sick. Yeah.
It's so good.
Control's fire.
And,
Control's
and
fire.
I can't wait for Control 2, but like that's years away at this point.
yeah,
But Control is something special.
yeah.
I'm just gonna answer the remake.
Remake. Yeah,
That's my favorite. Yeah.
that's
I
fair.
forgot. That-
Because that got you
that-
into Final Fantasy. Yeah. That,
Oh,
that's the
absolutely.
thing,
Yeah. That combat's perfect. The
Mhm.
combat's literally perfect. It's actually perfect. Nothing wrong with it at all. Yeah, no, and like
it was a perfect phone call. Everyone agreed.
and
Oh, you got any small hands?
it was right at the start of lockdowns,
Mm.
So I feel like without that, like I was really able to just like fully just escape. And like I talk a lot about how that was the first time, like arguably low key, like not that like I had like a crazy ass, like really horrible childhood, like at all, right? But like it was one of the things where like, oh, like I understand the child wonder. Like I get what that like I had that I didn't think I'd feel that as a 20, what was I, 20, 22, 21, 22-year old. But yeah, I instantly like loved the characters. Like I became like crack obsessed with FF7. Went back, played the original after remake. Like, yeah, it's really incredible. Yeah, that's definitely my favorite. I want to give a shout out to End of God of War when my favorite scene in God of War when Kratos lets Atreus hold the ashes,
Oh,
and then he goes, I have nothing left to hide, and takes off his bandages. That shit fucks me up every like
the music. The music.
Yeah,
hits,
bro, and
you see the scars.
Yeah.
You can see his actual skin. You
yeah,
actually see the skin he hasn't had forever.
We like never
Yeah.
and like the way like it's the like smelting of Ares is chains, you know, like god damn, man, it's fucking fire. Shout out to also actually last bit, shout out to Kratos telling Atreus why he named him Atreus.
Oh,
I thought that was
that.
such a heartwarming of like,
yeah, that was a good way
to
to end credits to go. I loved it. I really enjoyed that.
A beautiful little story.
Really
like, that one talked to me every time too.
Yeah.
I know it's a blessing in disguise looking back on it, and it's kind of a fucked up thing to say. But shout out to 2020 for video games.
Nah, big ups, yo.
Yeah, no, for
420
real.
was lit. Nah, we was eating.
Saved our mental health.
Doom Eternal,
Animal
Crossing, Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima.
And Last of Us Ghosts were a month apart?
Like
bro.
Come on.
We was eating. Nah, man, shit was lit.
Thank God. I was stuck inside. I had these to play. I've never been more grateful.
We've talked endlessly about Part 2, like, you know, it's a masterpiece, but like The Last of Us Part 2 to me is probably the most vivid game I've ever played. Where like I will never forget streaming that and it being just eerily quiet, eerily dark outside in Tempe, Arizona, where that's a college town. Like there's always bustling and there's, you know, cars and but like it became just like a dead zone in the summer, you know. And I'll just never forget like going through Seattle day 1, day 2, day 3, doing it again day 1, day 2, day 3, and like it's such a like scenes in that game like really to me felt like I like tangibly did that, you know. No other game has made me like feel that way. Like Part 2 is awesome.
Yeah. That's my one too as well. That God of War 2018, just having my son, him being just a couple months old and seeing this character who I loved when I was a teenager, but like, you know, he was like violent and he's you know, edgy and all this other stuff. And it was fun. And I loved like mythology. So like Greek mythology, Norse mythology and stuff. So having that, I was like, man, and I could find story in anything. Like I love Street Fighter story and it's batshit insane and it's barely there for like a lot of the old games and stuff. So it felt like a reward, 2018, for someone who put so much time into every God of War, to see this new Kratos who was more somber, more, you know, he's quieter, he's reflective, he is completely changed from its experiences that he experienced in those 6 games. I was like, oh, I always forget about Ascension. There's 6 games. He's completely changed, and I remember my son sleeping on me, and I'm trying not to get emotional. And when Kratos,
Joe, it's not just me.
Yeah, when
I'm just broken inside. We gotta realize that, guys.
Just hollow. You said you were hollow.
There's something wrong. Oh yeah, I got hollowed out a while back. You know,
when Kratos finally hugs Atreus, that I think I woke him up because I think tears like hit his face. Like I was holding him on my chest, and he was just, I was like, looked down at him. I'm like, fuck, like I get it. Like holy shit, like something clicked about fatherhood while playing that game,
dude. There was I mean, there's so many things that I relate to with my dad. I always say it when I talk about God of War. It's like, Corey, how were you in the room with me growing up? Like, I was reading my dad English because my dad is an immigrant to this country, right? So like, I'm second generation. I'm reading him like books because he doesn't know, or instruction manuals on how to fix things, because English is his like literally 5th or 6th language. So like that, there are moments where there's, you know, they have like this conversation, this argument of mourning their mother, right, or his mother, and like Kratos like yelling at him like, why can't you just feel the way I feel? And he's like, I do, but I'm, you know, we're just like, it was just like, I do. I miss her so much. I can't emote like you, you know, like that. That conversation was just, I'm like, fuck, that's me and my dad. And actually, I'm going to be like very real with y'all. It made me have a closer understanding and appreciation for him as well. Because, you know, my dad and I, we don't relate to much. Literally, the only thing that we both really dig is like fantasy stuff like Lord of the Rings, we can sit down and watch like Game of Thrones or cowboy movies. But like after that, just nothing. I'm not a soccer guy, so it's really that game really opened my eyes to my father. So it's very important for me as a son of an immigrant.
Yeah,
video games. It's nuts.
I really can't wait to go back with that lens of like being a father, if that's in the cards for me in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to go back and like feel that. You know? Yeah.
It's crazy to have that experience as a father, and I think like it's funny enough because my favorite game is The Last of Us Part 2, and I think for the longest time it was my favorite game of all time, and we'll get when we get to PS5, I'll tell you why it's not anymore, but it's like playing part 1, like I mentioned before, like not being a father at the time, it still was emotional and it's still impactful, and that's the awesome thing about 2018 of God of War. Like it's still impactful for anybody, no matter what. I think it's just like a little bit of a sprinkling if you just happen to be a dad or like a parent, that it hits somehow even just ever so slightly, like that little notch. But yeah, Last of Us Part 2 is probably my favorite game of that era. I was Father's Day weekend when the golfing scene happened and I was playing, and I my Father's Day gift was the game and some time to play by myself. And I was never more thankful that no one was in the house as I ugly cried at that scene. And then I'll never forget one of my favorite gaming discourses at the time, because there's a lot, obviously that has a lot of negative discourse, that game,
Yeah.
But I remember a friend of mine from high school, Tom Neville, shout out to him.
Hello.
And he sent me a Twitter DM. He's like, I see you're playing Last of Us Part 2. He's like, can you tell me, like, because at least there's chapters. So he's like, I know I'm ahead of you. What chapter are you? Like, what's the last thing you did? And so I would tell him. He's like, oh, okay, well, I'm definitely, past you. Just quick question. What's your thoughts of Abby? And I was like, fuck her. She's the worst. I fucking hate her. I cannot believe all the things that happened. Like, I vehemently like had this loathe for her. And I'm like, and at the same time, I'm like, damn, Laura Bailey's killing it, because like I hate her so fucking much, so viscerally. And he's like, okay, that's interesting. Text me in a little bit, like when you get past this. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I was like, come on, dude, just let me know. He's like, Abby's like my favorite character. I was like, how? He's like, just play. A couple days later, I get to the second Seattle Day 1. You start going through that side of the story, which is, that in itself is incredible. Like, I was like, oh my God, is this game wrapping up now? No. God, no. We're going to drag you through the mud emotionally again, but from a different side. And I can safely say Abby is probably my favorite PlayStation character.
Yeah, she's literally one of, like, she's one of my favorite Last of Us characters. Like, it's Ellie and then Abby.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, like, I love when people are like, I hate what they did to that story. I hate what they did to Joe. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, cool. And then, but then they'll end with like, but Abby was awesome. Oh. So you thought Abby was great? Okay. You hated how the story went.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, that doesn't work out that way. Yeah. And
I love when it's like, oh, the writing's so far up their own ass. Abby's a great character. Really? The writing's up their own ass, but Abby's a great character. Okay. All right. That's okay, internet.
I was so angry. Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Man.
That title screen. Yeah. It's like a gift. That title screen. You don't get any explanation. You just assume it's where they're at, where they wanted to be, and that boat, and it's like sunny. It's like, wow, holy shit! Like, I can't believe we got here.
Yeah. I'm getting chills, and I haven't played it since 2020.
No, I literally have only played it once.
Same.
Yeah, literally,
I'm waiting for a special occasion to hop back in. I want to.
Yeah,
it's just, man, that my memory of that first playthrough is so special.
Yep. That's
I don't want to taint it, but I definitely want to replay it. There's some scenes that I know that I love wholeheartedly. Like, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but like,
You're My People.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sharing of the coffee.
Yeah.
It's literally the best scene. That last scene is
God fucking damn it, man.
Man,
It's fucking so
if God gave me
The
the
thing
chance
on
to
me-
change anything, I wouldn't like. Oh my
I
goodness
mean,
gracious!
Ellie just singing "Take on Me" with
Yeah,
Dina.
and it's optional. You cannot find that.
I actually never did that in my first
Oh,
playthrough. I missed
man.
it. So I'm gonna go
It's
back and do
special,
it.
Kev.
Yeah,
It's
I
special.
intentionally have not seen it. I've only heard of
Okay.
it.
it's good.
Okay.
I haven't
Oh,
seen it because I want to at least keep that for me. Yeah, like
that
I
was a
Shout out to
teary
Dina
moment.
too.
Dina,
Dina's
yeah,
the best.
Dina's
Dina's
great.
fucking great.
she's
Yeah.
the MVP of that fucking game.
Yeah, like I've said this a lot. This is probably like the only big thing I have to say about part 2 that hasn't been said. It's a shame that part 2 got the discourse that it got with those leaks and just like with the follow and everything and just how people interpret the leaks, whether it was true or not, and how that got run away. Like I still feel like The Last of Us Part 2 is due for its proper, like, let's talk about this game. Like, let's really talk, like, so, and I hope that the show is able to spark that, and really give, like, guys, like, let's just, it was years ago. Let's really look at part 2 for what it is.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like it's gotten this proper due. Like, I really feel that way. Like, I don't feel like it's gotten this proper due. I really don't.
Yeah. I also hate when people pit Last of Us Part 1 against 2. It's like, can we just fucking not? It's the lamest conversation.
No.
It's a continuation. It's the same story.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
I don't know. I don't know how you could do something like that with those two games.
It's like who cares? It's because then it's the same talking points. So I don't like the golf. I don't like this. I'm like, all right, like be like, I don't know, sound original.
Yeah, it reeks of like that. Kev's right with those leaks. That did.
It's like
the leaks fucked it up.
Here's what I'll say. It's like when people go, oh, like when people say like Disney ruined Star Wars or like the best Star Wars, like people who say the best Star Wars is Empire Strikes Back are bad at sex. That's what I think. Of course, it's the best Star Wars. We get it.
We all love Missionary. Come on, yeah.
Exactly.
Give me some nuance, man.
Give me some nuance. Like,
Rebels fans,
choke me or something. Exactly. Rebels fans.
Rebels fans stand up. Yes, sir.
Chopper literally killed 49,000 people. Like, there's more. There's more. Like, again, like I get it. It's it's amazing, whatever. But like, there's got to be something more. Just same old shit. Oh, I hate it.
Dude, no, it's frustrating. And I want to quickly go with my 1B for favorite game, and it's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I am.
I just finished it last week.
Yeah, I'm one of the biggest Spider-Man fans, and Spider-Man holds a special place in my heart. Funny enough, Miles Morales as well, because that's how I found Kev and Mario and everyone. Because you did the DualShockers review discussion.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
Mario, Elaine.
That's right.
And that's how I found all y'all. Yeah.
If I remember, damn, was that?
Like, no, this Kev kid is really good. He's going to go places.
I'm trying to remember if that was launch day PS5, but it wasn't.
No, it was PS4.
No,
it's PS4. Yeah. With the caveat that it was going to have a PS5 version when it came out.
Right.
Yeah. But Spider-Man 1 is probably the best Spider-Man story, other than Miles's movies. God
bless.
Yeah, thank God. Because like it does something that the comics have not been able to do, which is allow Peter to move on. He's perpetually stuck in this like shitty hole, Spider-Man. And instead of being like, oh hey, he's got a Parker luck and like sometimes shit goes bad for him, it's become almost comical, no pun intended, at this point with him, like with the stuff that always happens to him now in the comics. Like, this current run, if you're a comic books fan, is really rough to get through. They just don't allow him to be an adult almost, like he's an adult, but he's not allowed to like live a life. And in this, like, there's so many things and the little things that they change with Spider-Man lore and make its own within Insomniac Spider-Man is absolutely wonderful. Octavius's rise to becoming Dr. Octopus is great. There was a great twist in the beginning too. It was like, oh shit, wait, is he Doc Ock? And he's not yet. And I mean, it's not without its faults, like the puzzle games, a little much.
Right.
Maybe one too many
MJ
Mary Jane
The MJ
levels.
sections.
Yeah,
the
maybe
MJ
one
yeah.
too many. Though I love her characterization in it. But once you get to
Shout out
that
to Laura
end,
Bailey.
oh, Laura Bailey, man.
Also Laura Bailey.
Yeah,
you're right,
Abby and Ed,
The goat.
Mary, she is a goat, honestly, man.
And Nadine.
And Nadine, yeah, shit, dang, this is
Yeah,
the Laura
the
Bailey
goat.
podcast,
Yeah.
guys. This is the Laura
Yeah.
Bailey podcast. Everyone watch Vox Machina.
Yes, please.
But once you get to that ending, and it's hard to talk about without spoilers, so I'll say it here. But Aunt May getting sick, and Peter realizing that Otto knew, and he still did it, and seeing that twinge of Peter unleashing, which you don't get too many times in the comic books, and him just going full force is crazy awesome. And then that end, trying not to get emotional. That was another one I was holding my kid when I was playing it. When May says, "Let me see my nephew." Yeah, shit. And she knew this whole time that he was Peter, because of fucking course she would. Why? She's not this frail old lady. Why would you think she is? Like, of course she would know her fucking nephew, her son basically, is a superhero, and he's doing something in honor of her husband. Like, fuck. Why won't the comics just let her know? Like, it's just so frustrating to see this, and to her hold his hand, and he still make the right decision at the cost of her life to save everyone else. And it kills him and it hurts, and I was crying. But then it does something amazing, and he doesn't stop being Spider-Man. He doesn't stop being Peter. He's not bitter and angry, and he's hopeful still, and he has Miles, and he has MJ, and he has New York still to protect. And it's something that you don't see much in comic books media, in comic book entertainment. Egregious one for movies, and I'll just briefly talk about it. Dark Knight Rises is so frustrating to me. The fact that he just stops being Batman. It makes no sense to me from the characterization of Batman. Like, why would this, as impactful as her death is, why this one is the thing that makes you stop? Don't you want anyone else not to hurt like the way you are right now? Like, that's who Batman is. And they didn't get it right. And the Insomniac Spider-Man gets Peter and Spider-Man right. And then you add fucking Miles Morales to it, and it's just Jesus Christ, off to the races. Like, the fact that they just get it. They understand what's going on. They understand their audience. They understand even little jokes in Miles Morales, the Coquito joke, everything like that. It's just like,
oh hell yeah,
it's just fucking perfect. Yeah. Jesus Christ,
it's just crazy how ahead of the curve Spider-Man 2018 was, having the brave choice of Aunt May being anti-vax.
God damn it. Man.
Thank you, guys. I'm going to go.
Yep. Okay. You. All right.
Kyle, you do a show every fucking week with this guy, bro.
How?
Week, bro. Every week.
Listen,
bro.
anyone want to be my new co-host?
How did you guys interview Ben Starr? How does this work?
Don't know, man.
Interview Freya.
Spider-Man PS4, one of the hardest main themes.
Oh, yeah.
In gaming, like,
yeah.
God damn, bro. Fire.
Shout out to
and then
Miles theme too.
Bro, it's
adding the beast.
So good.
Let's go. The one thing I'll say about Spider-Man, because I just beat it last week, actually. All the DLC as well in preparation for Spider-Man 2. I think that I'm not sure how true this is, but I just think overall, like, as a PlayStation fan base, I think we kind of view, like, overall, right? Like, I think we might view Spider-Man like a little bit lesser than like what came out that year as well, God of War, right? Which we can all agree, yeah, God of War objectively is probably a better overall game.
Yeah, that's easy to say, safe to say, but that doesn't mean.
Yeah, but I feel like over the years, like, because they were so close together, I feel like we kind of like have that gap way more wider than it should be.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
I think they're a lot closer than what a lot of people think. You know?
Absolutely.
Like, I really do feel that. Yeah, like if
Spider-Man is the best superhero game.
Spider-Man's incredible. Yeah, a really, really, really great game.
Good.
Yeah, I just feel like we kind of put them a little bit too further apart when they should be a lot closer together.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
agree.
For sure.
I agree. Now and obviously, PSP, Vita. Do you guys want to go real quick? I would say Persona 4
Vita
Golden
for me
for definitive.
Yeah, Persona 4 is definitely the one for Vita. My favorite, Unit 13, RIP Zipper Interactive.
I was going to
Fire
Severed.
game.
Severed was one of my
Ooh,
favorites.
okay.
Yeah.
Good call for Severed. PSP Midnight Club Dove Edition for me.
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you remember Need for Speed on PSP?
Yeah.
Most Wanted?
Underground.
No.
There was Underground on PSP.
Underground was on PSP. Damn, I didn't know that actually. I
Mhm.
played a lot of
And then
Most
the
Wanted
Battlefront
on
games.
Vita. Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Battlefront ports. Yeah.
PSP either Chains of Olympus or Ghost
Fire.
of Sparta.
Fire.
They're both so good. Ready at Dawn,
Those
man,
are-
killed it with those
Shout
two.
out to Star Ocean Second Story PSP version, which was technically a remaster, which was incredible. Added voice lines, I think. It was awesome.
I think you.
Vita, shout out to Danganronpa. One
Mm.
and
Yeah.
They were. I stayed up way too late before a day of substitute teaching in kindergarten, playing Danganronpa in my bed on my Vita. That game's wild. I didn't love 3. 1 and 2 though are pretty damn good.
Another one from Vita. I gotta give it up. Killzone Mercenary.
Oh,
Fucking great.
yes.
Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Great game.
Service now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
gotta
did.
try it out.
Damn, that was so good.
I know we were just
Oh,
talking
such a
about
good
Golden
game.
Abyss.
Thanks a lot,
jokingly,
Jim.
but I do like Golden Abyss.
Golden Abyss is good.
Yeah, it's a good
Good
shout out game.
Good game.
Um,
Y'all don't put your Vita up to a light source to
you gotta like, scratch the back, like
yeah.
the only game that does it.
Yeah.
So finally, we're at the current generation. So what I want to change it up here quickly. We won't do definitive because this generation is not done. But what would you guys say so far has been your favorite experience on PlayStation 5? I'm gonna assume for Kevin, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna assume this one. Returnal?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go,
Same answer
motherfuckers.
for me.
Let's fucking go,
yeah.
motherfuckers, man.
You guys got me so
Returnal
hyped that I can't wait to
is-
play it. Like I'm so excited.
Yeah.
to
Oh,
try
you
it.
haven't played it yet?
No, I haven't.
Dude.
I was so excited when it came to
It's so fucking
PlayStation Extra.
Oh, it's so
I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, all right, let's play
bro,
this.
it's so good.
It's so good.
So good.
It got
It's
me
so
into
good.
roguelites.
So good.
So goddamn good.
It's perfect.
But now this is where I come in. The best experience. If it's like, oh, what has shown me what next gen is, it's Horizon.
Facts.
I don't think anything comes
Most
close.
beautiful game.
Yeah.
Most beautiful
yeah,
game. Facts.
If I'm thinking like what's shown me like the haptics and what like the controller can do, 100% Returnal. I would say for me, my favorite game is still at the end of the day the greatest game ever made, and that is Elden Ring. And I will a game that I love so much that in 1 year I platinumed twice. Should show you how much I love that game.
I think for me also right up there with Returnal because I did nothing but play Returnal when it came out.
Dude, it was fucking awesome.
Nonstop, and to the point of like going for that platinum and getting it before they fixed that missing clip.
Oh, yeah.
That nonstop. Like I knew those rooms and those layouts like the back of my hand. That's how often
So
I was
good.
doing it. Shout out to the Hollow Seeker weapon, the best one in the game.
Let's preach. Speak on it.
But like God of War Ragnarok, I mean,
Great game. Yeah.
me and Kev have a whole series
game.
on it.
Yep.
Like,
Great
it's,
game.
Very good series. Check it out. All links by the way will be
Ragnarok's-
below.
yeah. Ragnarok's pretty
Ragnarok's great.
damn good.
I think
yeah.
I love I think I still as I like sit on Ragnarok a few months removed from it, it's about to be a year coming up here. I think I might enjoy at least the writing and the way the story unfolded in the first game over Ragnarok. I think I might feel that way where like I don't really love the way Ragnarok unfolds as a narrative.
You're
But
not
game-
wrong on that.
you're not
but
wrong.
game
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong.
gameplay far and away perfect on Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
so fun, bro. So fun. I don't get why people say they are similar. I'm like, no, like there's a lot. Ragnarok added a lot to that gameplay system. Like, yes, it's similar, of course. It's off the bones of it, but like, no, they added a lot of really, really cool elements. Wish there were more weapons. You know, just getting one more is kind of like, damn, like,
man, that fucking spear though.
You know, but that fucking drop your spear goes crazy. Drop your spear goes crazy.
And the way he gets
it.
Oh my god,
so good. So
after
good.
like getting the collector's edition and getting that item in the collector's edition, like, oh, this is cool, whatever.
Oh, the ring, yeah.
And then getting it in the game, I'm like, oh my god, this is one of my favorite things I've ever gotten.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, no, so here's the crazy thing. Both story wise, both of them are incredible. And I think story wise, 18 edges it out just a little bit because there's too much in Ragnarok, I will say. Ainsley Bowden is correct in this one portion of there's too much action, climb a wall in Ragnarok. Where when you're scaling the wall, I think we're there for a little bit too much time alongside the Angrboda sections. And Atreus's, we talked a little bit about it this week's episode. His combat isn't as fleshed out, so it's kind of like
I wanted more.
Get me back to the Leviathan axe, yeah. So like those things, that's why 18 edges it out on a story perspective. On a character perspective, though, Ragnarok blows away 2018 just by the things that they do with Freya's character alone, but like adding characters like Ratatasker, expanding Brock and Sindri to who
would have fucking figured I would be bawling my fucking eyes out because
Brock
of
and Sindri.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Brock, like that scene is so, when Brock gets it, and it was literally the same time where I got it. I was just like, wait. And then I'm like, yeah, Brock's right out. And then that turns out, oh my God. And then the end with Sindri. And you see like the ultimate revenge, and you see it doesn't even sustain him. It's like so like on a character level, Ragnarok is just the writers just understood the assignment there.
Listen,
that funeral scene.
Bro, the funeral scene
and
then
end cap.
When Mimir says a hole, I remember being like, what? Like, why do you say that? And then he's like, what gets bigger the more you take away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, man. Like that's such a way to end. Like, fuck. That ending scene, the music in that is a track that I go back to that track 24. No, not even that one. The actual one that is on that damn, what's the instrument called? The fucking bagpipe.
Oh
yeah.
When they're actually doing the procession and the actual scene. I love that bagpipe track. Like I play that shit endlessly, but yeah, man. Ragnarok is great. Yeah.
I can picture Kevin in the club going up to the DJ.
I'm like, nah, we're gonna bump this shit, man.
Yeah, right now. The only one. He was like, yeah.
This is it, guys. This is it.
Yeah, Ragnarok's my favorite experience on the PlayStation 5 so far. From we don't talk about it enough too. It's funny enough. When I bought these headsets, when I got both my Series X and PlayStation 5, I wanted something that I could use on both. And this does a great job. These Steel Series, no, not sponsored, but I'm willing to be. But we don't talk about like audio design, especially with like with the like the spatial audio or the surround sound and stuff. And that has such a beautiful sound design that there was plenty of times I was playing and my wife was like, dude, the kids are asleep. Like, you don't have to play like the cursing stuff. I'm like, I just love it. Like, I love listening to it. Like, just the world being in like Vanaheim and hearing like the birds and everything. Just like, it was so beautiful with the headset. The haptics feel great. The Leviathan axe feels even better. But yeah, the story is incredibly insane. The little nuanced details. If you have subtitles on and Tyr's name changes, or like the accent's not there anymore. And you're like, wait, what the fuck? It's so smart. Like that team did something so beautiful with that game. And that doesn't even mean like 2018. I will also agree. I think edges it out ever so slightly because it's such a condensed story. It's like it's so laser focused. But Ragnarok is so beautiful for me. I wish there was more to the Atreus battling system. But I was really excited to see him be playable because I wanted that. I wanted to see more of him like separated. I assumed, I think like many of us, that Kratos was going to die early on in the game and that we were going to play as an older Loki. And that didn't happen. And I was like constantly shocked as the game kept going. I was like, oh, what's that happen? Oh, they're really not doing it. Oh, okay. And then to get that ending, not just the Brock ending, but like Kratos specifically with the tapestry. And he sees like what does Odin say? Like, do you know what it is to be
a god?
To be a god.
Do you know what it feels like to be loved?
Yeah, to be loved. Yeah.
Fuck.
And to see that. Oh. And he's like hopeful. It's something I've never seen out of Kratos, and it's such a great way to end his specific story. I don't even, if they never touch the series again, I think it's great. If they do, I can't wait to see what they do. But man, what a great end cap. And if I more recently biased as well, Final Fantasy 16 is an incredible experience.
Fire.
Even with a lot like I won't lie, a lot of the side quests are a little tedious. They're a little much. When you get the important side quests, the ones that really matter story wise or anything, like at that last section, and Joe, you'll see, because I think it's a valid criticism that a lot of people have. The side quests can be much. I mainly did them because I just wanted to live in this world as much as I can. A lot of those at the end are so cool, and they're really poignant to the world where we set up, Clive and the group. It's just really, really well done story. And we've mentioned this on Chaos Bringers that like every couple of games, the what Final Fantasy is changes. And so you have the first three and it changes. And they finally, to me, become like, especially now recently playing 4, which we haven't filmed our episode, but playing 4, like, holy shit, this is what Final Fantasy is. Like, this story, this is it. Because the first 3 has it, but not too much. And some of them are like 2 steps forward, 1 step back when they're trying to figure out what to do. 4, 5, and 6, I can safely say, even without playing 5 and 6 ever, that they are a change in what Final Fantasy is. Then you get 7, 8, 9. They change what Final Fantasy means. 10, 11, 12. They change what. Then you get the low 13, 14, 15. 15. I like 15 a lot. But now
I'm talking about 13.
Oh, 13. Yeah. I know a lot of people love it. I gotta really dedicate time to it because that was overwhelming back in the day.
It is a lot.
Yeah, I got to the open world section and I was like, I'm burnt out. and now I have to restart it because that comes near the end of the game. But to see 16 and know for a definitive fact, like this is going to be what the new Final Fantasy is. And I can't wait to see what 17 is and 18. Like, what are they going to be now that we have established like this new era of what Final Fantasy is? And then let alone, God, you get, remake, which is not really a remake. It's the remake because they're remaking the world. Spoilers. Rebirth. It's just awesome. Like 16 was a really good experience for it. But yeah, Ragnarok's one of my favorites. And then we'll end it here with this last question around the group. What is something you're looking most forward to in the future of PlayStation, whether it be like PlayStation 5 or something maybe it's not even announced, or something you kind of want to will into existence for the future of PlayStation? We'll start with Joe.
I got this one for all of us guys. PlayStation starts talking to us again.
Yeah,
give us a showcase that's worth a damn.
100%.
We see what's in front of us after Rebirth. Just the basic stuff. You know?
Hey, do y'all remember? Bear with me. Remember those dedicated game state of plays that we
Yes.
got? That
Oh
remember
my
those?
God.
God, let's bring those back.
That Horizon one
Those
was
were
so
fun.
good. Yeah. Oh my God.
Lost Us Part 2, Ghosts.
Come on.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys.
Little
Come
Devil
on.
Inside?
Oh
That
my
one
God.
too.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree. They just need to start talking to us
Yeah, I
about
feel
what's
that, I
in
feel
the
that.
future. Because, yeah, Rebirth is, I think, the farthest thing we know of. Minus like the
Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, Death Stranding 2, and also the
that's not dated. Yeah, okay.
Stellar
what are they
Blade.
called?
Stellar Blade.
Rise of the Ronin.
Yeah.
The
Hell Divers.
games and service games, like the
Oh.
Haven
Yeah,
game,
game service game.
Marathon and all. Yeah.
Concord and Fair Games.
Yep.
Is it Concord?
Yes.
Change the name.
It was
Change
like
the
a
name of Fair
20-second
Games.
trailer. We didn't
Is it
see what the game
Concord?
is. Like,
Yeah.
But to will something into existence, I want more Resistance. Like, just bring it back.
Oh, fuck.
Dedicated like single player first.
Bloodborne 2. What are we doing here? What are we doing
Yeah,
Yeah.
here?
How's that
Bloodborne
not
2
happened
would
yet?
be
Or Blue Point remaster.
60 frames, baby.
Because you need Miyazaki
frames,
to make Bloodborne 2. That's the trick. You need Miyazaki in there.
So to come back is another big one.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more of like, okay, so like I got to assume that Sony and PlayStation, like, different leadership, right? But like, I don't think they're as naive to like think that like, hey, like y'all know that like the core base here, right? Like we love our single player narrative driven games. Like that's a bread and butter. They've said it. There's gonna be 40% of their development still going towards single, that solo single player game, etc. Right. So I'm curious to see with them knowing that is the base that they are talking to, right? How they're going to market and incentivize us to become multiplayer players. With
I got
mantra,
the answer to that.
Yeah, and like I think a big part of that
answer for you.
Okay, what's up?
Yeah, you raise the price of the online.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
We're not thinking right.
Oh yeah, and then not offer any first party play, online games. Right, gotcha. So like, I think a big part of that is bringing in Bungie, right? Yeah. I think a big part, because what is a online multiplayer experience that has been telling a narrative for nearly 10 years at this point, over 10 years, I think, or close to it.
Yeah.
It's Destiny, So I'm curious to see how they're gonna, and what we heard from factions as well. Like, I'm just curious to see how they're gonna navigate that, and if they're gonna navigate that in a successful way to get us that are accustomed to our single player games into co-op, into PvP. And is it going to retain a narrative or not? Like I'm very intrigued. You know what I'm saying? Like that I think is the really big question that we have ahead as fans, that we'll see, man. Like it's a tough hill. I mean, there's really only been Destiny. That's not fair. Like there's only been other games that have done that too, but like, I mean, it's a tough thing to chase. So we'll see.
Yeah. I think that was the smartest purchase, especially with they're wanting to hit that multiplayer space, like buying Bungie and letting them be pretty much independent on their own, like do whatever they want with Destiny. Right. I think that was one of the smartest things they've done this generation is buying them. I think as well, I agree that having some kind of narrative like within factions. I don't necessarily need like at the end of like playing like 50 hours of factions, you see Abby and like, you want to join the Fireflies, or Lev or something. Yeah. I don't necessarily need that. I need like just living in the world, getting a little more of that world. Halo does a really good job of that with a lot of multiplayer stuff where you kind of live into the world, you kind of see what the other side's doing. But now with that being said, 343 doesn't do a great job of like hyping it up to the level of Master Chief. It's not as important, you could tell. But if they can ride that fine line of that, and as well, I'd like to see what Jade's studio with Haven. I know we've seen pre-rendered footage, but like, is that fair?
That one's Fair Games, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's Fair Games.
Yeah. The concept of it seems pretty cool. I would like to know financially what this is going to be. Like what are these price points they're going to hit? Are they going to be bundled in? You know, especially with the funny. I know Joe was joking around, but like, are they going to be bundled in with that new price? You know, is it going to be like is Marathon going to be an extra, or you know,
yeah.
How do you incentivize a person? Yeah, right. Like to a certain degree, and there's going to be people who don't want extra or premium.
Yeah.
You know, I accidentally got premium again for my second year. I'm like, damn, I forgot to renew at extra. Damn it.
It's not going to affect the game, right? Like Sea of Stars sold 100,000 copies outside of Game Pass and PS Plus.
Yeah.
So like people are going to buy the game regardless, but with that price increase, they got to give some sort of value, because we talked about it on the show, but like the premium service just ain't it yet.
It's not it.
No.
I need more of those classics that we've been waxing poetically on for the last couple hours. So like, where's the Tomba? Where's Croc?
Something.
Where's all these classic PS1, PS2 games that are available for me to play whenever?
Yeah,
like, that's what you sold me.
Give me
as
PSPs. Give me some Vita stuff that you can.
Not
you know?
just every other month get like 3 titles.
Fuck yeah.
No, I need more.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I think I agree with Joe's point too. Some transparency. You know, I feel like PlayStation right now, and like you know, we've been very positive, and we all love PlayStation, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have problems. They've felt very robotic in the Jim Ryan era. They felt very like cold. I think
They're
it was
stuck in the Tumblr days with their PS blog post.
Yeah. Oh my
That's
god,
how
man.
we get the news.
Hey, I don't mind the blog post so much as we
I like
need
the blog posts,
showcases, but I need state of
we need the
plays.
showcases, man.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying we don't.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
Like,
I like a nice meaty blog post, but
I get it, but for like indie games, give me an indie state of play instead of just dropping it randomly in a blog or a Twitter thread.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's because they used to do both.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Used to do both.
It's fine to do both, and I don't need it to be like, oh, there's 40 minutes of games. You can do like 15, 20. Like it's fine. Something small, something fun. Just talk to us more. I think that is really important, and it also from a gamer standpoint, you know, having both consoles, and listen, Microsoft is like I said, catching L's left and right. But like, there's something about Phil Spencer being transparent, going on Kind of Funny XCast, and being transparent. Like, we fucked up, we made mistakes, we need to be better, we need to do this, we need to like do this and this and that. It's refreshing to see that, especially from I've been a big fan of Phil Spencer, though, you know, no one should, I guess, you know, big corporations, boo, you know, all this stuff. But it's like cool to see how transparent he is with media and upfront with a lot of stuff. I miss that, you know, I miss that when we had that in PS3 and PS4 era. You know, when Jim took over, it felt like really cold, and then like weird decisions started getting made. And again, I guess we're literally talking on the eve of the price, or like the day after the price increase, and it's like, why would you do this, PlayStation? There's no without an explanation. Again, if you're telling me Factions is day and date on extra or premium, okay, now a $40 increase makes sense. I get all these games. Can we get like a Game Pass equivalent? Not to the day and date, maybe a year, maybe 6 months. You know, give me some transparency. Tell me what you want to do.
I think a year would be the sweet spot.
Yeah, I think that's fine, because
I think a year is gonna be it.
It seems like it is, but they're not like transparent. You know, like Returnal was like basically a year later. I think Ratchet was a year later on those extra tier. Like, I would love to see, just talk about it more. This is, but it's harder. It's easy for them not to talk when they're the market leader. You know
that, and they're selling at faster pace in PS4. Like they're selling like fucking crazy. PS5. Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, I think that's a good place to leave it off. I think we all want some transparency, and crazy enough, I want another Cole McGrath, Infamous, not a remake. Let's do like Second Son Part 2, and maybe it's both characters. They
knew what they were doing with that Spider-Man 2 original trailer with the lightning bolt hitting the signpost. They knew what they were doing.
There was like a high, and then a low, and then a high. It was like,
I popped so hard, bro. I popped so hard. I thought it was Infamous for real.
Especially when you beat Infamous 2 and the lightning just strikes the water. Like, he's fucking alive, motherfucker. I know he is. Give me Cole McGrath, bitch.
Our boy, our king.
All
our
right,
king.
but that will end it for this Nerdy Day meaning of episode. We're gonna go around the horn, and obviously links will be down below for everyone. Let's start with the illustrious host of PlayStation Source, Kev. Where can people find you?
Yeah, right now, just like I said on my Twitter right now, I've been a little bit inactive on YouTube.com as PlayStation Source, but hopefully, we
I mean,
figure it out, figure some things out.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Then of course IGN. Yeah, I'm not super front facing there at IGN, but if you watch a trailer at IGN, if you watch a video there, there's around like a 30% chance I uploaded it, or something like that. Or like if you read copyright under a trailer, that's probably your boy. That's probably me.
Nice.
Riding it up. So shout out to that. And yeah, I hope I can someday return to back to what because. Thank you for just thinking of me still and inviting me here because I miss this. Like I miss talking about I really do. And I felt a lot just not fully myself.
No,
that sounds really dramatic.
No.
It sounds really dramatic, but
it's not. Joe and I recently took a week-long break and we missed the show so damn much.
Yeah.
I just haven't felt like me in months. So this is a night where I'm this is what it's like.
Hell yeah,
this is what you miss. Yes.
No, man, always, man. I've said it to you, in DMs and on PlayStation Store stuff, man. But you're the future, bro. I'm not bullshitting. Like you really are. And
we are.
We are. Yeah, we are. All four of us are. But
that's right. Me being the youngest one here.
Yes, yeah,
indeed.
18-year-old. You said 18, right? You're not 17, really.
I'm in high school.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm flunking math, and I don't care. I smoke cigarettes in the bathroom.
Permit, and he's ready.
That's right.
Roll.
He's ready to roll.
That's right.
But yeah, man,
I got my fake ID, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. When I came up with the, because I have ideas for meaning of Xbox, meaning of Nintendo. When I thought of PlayStation, that was the first one I thought of, and I thought about you three, without a doubt, all three of y'all, because you guys are killing it in the PlayStation space. And it's just inspiring. You three are so inspiring to me. But to move on,
we'll clip that and send it to Sony. Be like, hey, give us games to review.
Yeah,
we inspire people. God damn it,
give us games to review, and all four of us get a PSP Portal.
Yeah.
We'll take also.
No, we're not from Canada.
Yeah, please God, just give us a Portal. We'll try it. We'll review it for all of our channels. Come on.
That's right. We'll share it. Okay.
From Canada. It's crazy.
I swear to you. Joe and Kyle, where can people find y'all?
Well, not in Canada. I'll tell you that much. No, you can find me over at, though I wish, it sounds great up there. You can find us over at The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players each and every Thursday. Me and this son of a gun right here, talk about the latest and the greatest in all things PlayStation. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find your podcasts. A service, you can find us there. Make sure you rate us 5 stars on iTunes, on Spotify. You get a chance to win a Spider-Man DualSense controller because you know what? We're gracious like that, You can find me at Mr. Badbit on Twitter. If Threads is still a thing, underscore between the Mr. and the Badbit. And
you got underscored. That sucks.
And that is.
I got underscored on Twitter. Yeah. Still to this day.
What can you do in these trying times? But that's it. That's where you can find me.
You can follow me everywhere at Mr. K-Step. And go check out the latest in all indie gaming news over at 61indie.com. Just did our 3rd indie game showcase this past week.
Fucking phenomenal.
61indie.com/showcase. Thank you very much. 33 games, 46 minutes, all really, really cool things.
Amazing production value. I'm not even bullshitting. I'm always impressed by you guys. And then you guys
have
what?
Cat Sekiro.
Yeah, there is a Cat Sekiro. It was funny because I got emails about them a couple weeks ago. I was like, "What is this cat thing?" And then I showed the trailer. I was like, "Oh shit, that's what it is."
It's pretty wild. Out, please.
But yeah, and you guys have a 3-hour post show, multiple interviews with a lot of the devs. God,
there's those interviews, Carlos.
Yeah.
they're the reason why I haven't slept at all this week.
Yeah, no,
I was up till like 3 a.m. editing them because I was too busy playing Final Fantasy on the weekend.
Hell yeah.
Fair.
The push and pull of PlayStation.
Yeah.
And for anyone, just finding me through all these amazing people for the first time, again, I'm your doctor recommended dose of nerdiness, aka your nerd of the day, Carlos Rodriguez. You can find me here, youtube.com/nerd of the day. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, you just search the Nerd of the Day podcast. And if you're a Final Fantasy fan, check out Chaos Bringers, our Final Fantasy retrospective podcast where me, Harv, and Frank from Point of Progress, we are going through the Final Fantasy series, each titled. Don't be weirded out by the numbers, by the way, because we played 1, 2, 16, 3. And the episodes are titled by the game we're playing. But yeah, I'm sure you might see some of these lovely faces on Chaos Bringers. Just saying. I definitely, Kev, I'm gonna pull him for a remake.
Yeah, I gotta be there. Yeah,
and I have that. If you love wrestling, Apron Work Podcast. We'll be back eventually. We always take summer breaks because we're dads. But yeah, this is the best place to find me. Patreon. All of us have one. Right, Kevin, you have one, right?
I don't.
No, you have the memberships, right? Through
I do memberships.
There we go.
Yeah.
And Trophy Room has a Patreon. They're amazing. Check them out. Give them some couple bucks. If you guys love me, give me some couple bucks too. Help me buy Spider-Man 2. And for everything else, thank you guys for hanging out. This is a long one, man, but this is I could safely say this is the best podcast I've done. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Take that one, Greg.
Yeah. Fuck you, Greg.
Greg sucks. Greg sucks.
Nick is the best.
Greg sucks. Greg sucks.
Until next time, we will see you.